Good afternoon and welcome to the Twin Ovals for this big TSL Round 8 clash between the Tigers and the Lauderdale Bombers. I'm Andrew Cooling, joining you to call the action here this afternoon in this hotly anticipated counter. On his commentary debut is Jacob Dooley. Good afternoon to you, sir. Looking forward to this one this afternoon.
Yeah, it should be a fantastic game, shouldn't it? And it's nice to finally be reunited with you in the commentary box. Different sport, but something to look forward to still.
Different shaped ball, but certainly an interesting contest here this afternoon. We've got a surgent Bombers side. Started the year 0-3. They've won their last 3 matches since. They're suddenly absolutely flying, coming up against the Tigers outfit, who were looking probably Launceston's biggest challenges earlier in the year. 4-2, currently sitting second. In many respects, this could be sorting out who is going to be the biggest challenger this year. We're just trying to sort out the scoreboard. Apologies for that. Hopefully you'll have a nice clear image soon. Technical issues we're battling this afternoon, but should be cleared up very, very shortly. Apologies for the inconvenience there. And slightly early start, just catching us out to all that. One thing's very different to the round ball game. They're actually starting games on time in this competition.
Yeah, well, I can't remember too many soft games starting early during our time, especially, as you say, even on time was a win there. But here we are, looks like we're on the way now.
Yeah, with Poland half back there, just punching one up to the wing. A nice ball up there. He found Reece Sutton in some space. Has the quick handball. Look over the top, straight into just a nest of Tigers players, really. Didn't really make it count. Trying to impose himself. Big Tompkinson, he was pretty good last week in difficult conditions. A lot nicer out there this week as Hayden Smith just shrugs off, and Alan Christensen, just a little coat hanger on Tompkinson, who looks down and with disdain almost on the 4th AFL player they're doing.
Not sure that's a physical matchup I'd be taking on if I was Alan Christensen there. He's a bit overmatched, but that AFL experience might keep him in good stead.
Yeah, couldn't quite find Tyler Carter coming through with Luke Patton, just flicked a little handball out the back, and they'll chip it. The relieving mark to be taken by Josh McGuinness at half back.
McGuinness just looking for an option here. Nothing obvious up ahead, so it looks like he'll send it down the line. One-on-one contest, no real winners there, but it looks like we've got a free kick going to the Bombers. Some slow movement down the field here. They are one of the stronger contested teams in the air this season, so they'll be looking for a target up forward here. Sends it down towards the half-forward line, but that's an easy intercept mark kicked off by Jack Tompkinson. As you say, he's been in good form back there. He's just going to pump it long again, straight back where it came from to a pack of mostly Bombers players there. Juggling mark, has that been paid? It hasn't. Looks like Harry Richmond had a good piece of it, but the umpires will now throw it in sort of further towards Lauderdale's half-forward line on the wing.
An excellent season himself, Harry Richmond is really impressed with his work in the air. Back into play, Smith matched up with Marcus Gardner. Slightly high tackle there from Lovell, and Lennon Marlin, late inclusion into this team, just gets his kick away. In dispute in the middle, plenty of Tigers there, should be able to collect this one. One of them was Godomsky, squares it across to a man in a little bit of room, just turning with it as Digan, slung as he kicked, just got it away. The top of the 50 and a juggling mark there from Riley Ashland. And last week they wouldn't have even contemplated having a shot here because you were kicking at about an 80km/h wind. Today, slightly more doable perhaps.
You'd have to hang this one out towards the right angle along the 50, wouldn't you, to get it to work back with that breeze? But a bit of a better proposition here for Riley Ashland on a much nicer day.
Beaten up a little bit by the Bombers from the north in the wet last week, so they'll be fired up here today looking for a response to the Tigers. We'll see who has the journey. It's going all the way. It's a beautiful kick there. Super stuff to open the scoring this afternoon from Riley Ashland. Gave it a tremendous ride. Straight through the middle. First blood goes the way of the Tigers.
Yeah, and that's an important first goal for the Tigers. I think after last week they would have been really disappointed with the finish they gave to the game. So to get off to a quick start here, it really would have been important to coach Trent Baumler and the Tigers.
The Bombers, as you mentioned, will be a really good contested team. The Tigers are pretty strong in that area too, so it should be a really good battle around the ball this afternoon, I think. Yeah,
the Tigers have got plenty of those big bodied on balls in there, and they'll definitely be keen to get into the scrap in the middle here as the ball comes down. One out of the middle by Lauderdale, a nice clean clearance, and they'll send it inside 50 for the first time this afternoon. Not a great entry there as it's picked off. And Ben Donnelly for the Tigers sends it back outside 50 to a contest in the middle. Almost a strong mark there for Jordan Lane, but he gets the hands clear to Eddie Cole. Sends it out wider to Kieran Lovell. A little chip towards the half-forward line for Marcus Gardner, who takes it uncontested, and he'll look to keep it moving quickly here. Inboards back to Cole. And finds an easy target there in Luke Graham. Nice little lead up there. Thinks about playing on quickly, but looks like he'll go back and have another shot from outside 50 for the Tigers.
He'll take his best. We saw plenty of carry on that previous kick from Ashland. So see if Luke Graham can get the Tigers a second goal here to start the day. He had to get some goals on the board after last week when they really were at a premium.
Yeah, they're already sneaking up on last week's total in the first 5 minutes here.
Good looking kick, gave it a tremendous ride. Luke Graham, well, they've got their goal kicking boots on today. They're enjoying the conditions being a little more favourable, and 2 goals from outside 50 to start the scoring here this afternoon. 2 straight 12, Lauderdale yet to score. Not exactly regulation scoring chances they've had here, DALY, but they've got 2 goals to show for us. So an enormous start here from the home side.
I'm not sure you'd say that the Tigers have been a 2-goal better side so far in this game, but good finishing, and they'll take that lead and hopefully run with it here.
Ethan Tompkinson again will match up in the middle. Big fellas going at it there, plenty of size between those two. Important to their side's chances this afternoon, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely going to be a tough battle in the middle, and the 2 ruckmen will have a big part to play in that. See who can win it out cleanly here. It was Lauderdale last time around. Tigers this time get first hands on it, but struggle to get clear. Squirts out to Lovell out the back, but he can't collect. Comes back to him a second time, and he'll look to break away. Gets it to Clifford, who sends it out wide towards half forward. And that one's just reeled in and heading inside 50 now. And Tyler Carter is that, just sneaking out the back, hands off to Lovell, and that's 3 goals in the first 6 minutes for the Tigers. That one certainly came a bit easier, didn't it?
Yeah, just winning it out of the middle at the moment, getting it in quickly, and this Lauderdale defence just struggling to contain them. And that DALY is last week's score already eclipsed.
Yep, didn't take long.
2-5-17 for all of last week. Kicked 3 straight in the opening 6 minutes and already done more than that. And they're off to a dream start. They were undoubtedly keen for a response here after a disappointing showing last week. Well, they've come out from the opening down and showed terrific intent.
Yeah, definitely moving the ball forward with purpose, and that time it was one of their first real clean inside 50s. They've been scoring from outside the arc and getting in a bit closer there, and another easy goal for them.
The Bombers just beating up around the ball a little here at the moment. Kieran Lovell certainly started red hot, adding a goal on top of some busy work out of the middle early on. Here's Lockie Clifford, just taps it in front of himself, but coming through is his opposite number, Dylan Fife. Clifford takes him to ground. And the ball up, slight of stature, Fife, but a tenacious customer. Will work out under the patch all afternoon as this one's chipped towards half forward. Ball came from behind by a hooker. Steinbauer, handled back. Salter now seizes it, gave it off to Jordan Lane, couldn't quite find him, but Graham snapped. It's Graham! It's just offline. And the first blemish on the Tigers scoreboard here this afternoon. 3-1-19, Lauderdale yet to score. But it's all one-way traffic at the moment, DALY.
Yeah, the Bombers will hope to stem the tide a little bit here with some possession coming outside 50. Pump it wide onto the wing. Bit of a contest, no one can take it cleanly, but it sneaks out the back and they'll keep driving forward. Elijah Reardon collects on the rebound and looks to send it back the other way for the Tigers, and he goes straight back inside 50, not wasting any time. A real mess of a contest there, and they'll play it on. Lauderdale happy to send it through for a behind there. I think the Tigers really bringing some good forward pressure and not making anything easy for them here.
Just getting in quickly, aren't they? Really putting him under the pumps at the back here. Really getting it in there with some speed, some purpose, and pretty frequently the Bombers could just settle to get a little bit of possession here, I think, DALY.
Yeah, they really do well to just slow it down here, and almost a good mark there to keep the ball, but again, it just spills loose at the last minute. And Tyler Carter, I think, has won a free kick in there for a high tackle. Working up the ground well to help out his midfield, and he'll wheel and go quickly. Send it back inside 50 once again. Good spoil at the back from the Bombers, but it falls to Lovell once again. He snaps from the boundary, and that's a fantastic goal again for the Tigers. Kieran Lovell's got too early, and didn't he make that look easy?
Oh, class. Pure class from Kieran Lovell. Had a slightly quiet game by his standards last week. Didn't have his normal impact, but he's come out here early on, had the ball on a string, and he's kicked 2 goals. That one, another pretty sharp chance from the pocket. They're not exactly regulation scoring chances, and they're dobbing them from everywhere at the moment. Maybe a little bit of frustration to last week being taken out, but the Bombers, they have been jumped here. We're expecting a really tight battle. This isn't wind advantage. This is just getting absolutely obliterated at the contest right now.
Yeah, and I guess it shouldn't be a surprise. The Tigers are the number 1 team for clearances in the comp so far this year, but the Bombers seem like a pretty good matchup in there, but so far points go to the Tigers, don't they?
They do. We saw Magro just pushing up on the ball, trying to get involved moments ago. He's a man who could have an impact, and Leonard Marlin was absolutely outstanding in their upset win over Launceston. Certainly hope he can exert some influence. Tackle lingered a little bit there from Salter. Will it stay in play? Not quite. 4-5 can pick it up and make something happen there. Trying to combine with Luke Patton. No, it is all one-way traffic at the moment. As the Bombers are struggling to get a foothold in this game. Gardner won it down. Slightly high tackle there from Eddie Cole, slipping up on the big figure of Leonard Marlin. Big ball on the inside there. A performance from him today. Elijah Reardon was lurking behind, never found its way there. Max College drifts across and takes the mark. Looks up, goes by a hand to Reardon, who chips one back into the corridor. Gathered at the second attempt by Lockie Clifford. Now he flicks it over the top. Found Eddie Cole. The ball nicely side to side. He'll turn there. Julian Parker went a little early, got away with it. Kick smothered on. The Bombers can win it back here through Luke Patton. Patton sends it up towards half forward. And he finds Jaden Magro. Just holds up. Not a whole lot on, so just kicks to space in the end, and leading the race into that space was Ben Donnelly. Sidestep to get round one. Pulling up the handball. And opted to go a little shorter to Griggs. Griggs chips it in. Turned over. Sutton wins it back. Now Christensen. Handball over the top. Good tackle though. The defensive pressure of the Tigers sees them win it back, and Clifford takes over here. He swings it across. Centering ball's a good one. Found Riley Ashland in space, and they might be opened up behind here, the Bombers. Tyler Carter gathers, walks one way, then heads it straight to the opposition. Hooker able to take it away. Blackburn couldn't gather it. Leonard Marlin now. He looks up and just chips one forward, trying to find a marking target, and he finds it in the form of Fletcher Hooker. Keeps them moving quickly with a little dart, but it's intercepted back there by Cole.
Yeah, the Tigers staying strong right on that half-back line and keep on repelling every attack as the ball finds its way to Clifford here. He'll take his time, send it further wide onto the wing. That one just hangs in the air a bit too long for Dygan, and the Bombers will reclaim possession here and head back forward. Finds an easy mark on the wing there, send it back inboard. That one's marked by Nat Franklin. He keeps it moving further across, looking for the switch here through Josh McGuinness. Head back towards the 50, but once again, that last kick towards the attacking 50 isn't quite there, and the Tigers look to make a bit of a contest here. Great tackle there from Joey Brewer, and the Tigers win it back. Quickly moving forward again. Long down the line, just evades the running Jack Tompkinson. He can't quite reel that in, and the umpire will ball it in just towards the Tigers attacking 50.
Always tough to judge some of these games because they have a quarter at each end. That's going to be a bit of a wind advantage for the Tigers. I don't think it's quite this profound as the scoreboard would suggest, but their kick's certainly carrying further here.
Yeah, they're having an easier time of sort of driving that ball up into attack, aren't they?
Dylan Fife gets it and sends one up towards the wing. You see that ball holding a little. Spoil came from Donnelly behind. Fife scored it out of play in a strong tackle. And another stoppage midway through quarter number one. The Tigers getting the jump on the Bombers. They lead 25-0. Start for them at the Twin Ovals as they look to get back on track after having their colours lowered by the Northern Bombers last week. Lauderdale trying to make it 4 in a row. Wheeling and sending it towards half 40. Zach Adams. Big Tompkinson was there. Couldn't quite rein it in. Luke Patton bounces away with it for the Bombers, and he drives it up towards the wing. In dispute, good contest given by Harry Richmond, and then a good follow-up tackle too. Someone who's so good in the air and such a physical marking target. Really enjoys work at ground level too, DALY, Harry Richmond. Just impressed every time I see this young man.
He's been good so far this season, hasn't he? His ball goes up again on the wing. Tigers look to come away with it. A lot of pressure up there though. Also big man Gardner, he can't quite get down to it, so the Bombers will take possession once again. Siggins right under the contest there, and now it spills out once again, and Zach Adams sends the Tigers forward. And that's a good lead from Jack Tompkinson, but he can't quite take the mark. Follows up well, gets it to Lovell, who sends it inside 50 with a little chipping ball, and finds the man on the arc. Moving it quickly once again here, the Tigers, not wasting any time. Lockie Griggs plays on and almost sneaks it through there, just into the woodwork. That could have been another quick one for the Tigers. They're really moving the ball with some purpose here, aren't they?
They certainly are. And just unsettling the Bombers' defence with that speed of ball movement. And crucially keeping his feet there as Sutton went flying past him. So often an important part of the contest, they can keep their feet ready for that second phase. As perhaps the frustrations being shown there by Sam Siggins. He's been relatively unsighted, big Sammy Siggins. The ball hasn't really gone down into the Bombers' forward line, so he's just pushed up into the contest here. Such a star player, and perhaps sensing they need his influence around the ball for the time being. It's taken away by Eddie Cole. He swings them deep into attack. The spoil came into the pockets. Tackle laid by Dygan. They scrap at ground level. Fighting away is O'Neill. Just about got the handball away. They clear it out to Cole. He goes to Ashland. Ashland by hands to Jordan Lane. Took a couple on. Is it a high tackle or holding the ball? It's got to be one or the other. Apparently not. Ball up.
We'll call that one a draw.
Don't know about that one, DALY. One down in the forward line. The snap kick into the pocket might turn out fortuitous. Didn't quite find Salter as the handball from McGuinness. Now Poland, that's a poor kick. Downs on the full. A tough chance, but the way they've been kicking him this afternoon, you wouldn't rule Eddie Cole out here.
No, this is exactly the kind of chance they'll take the way they're going, and you think that hot streak has to end eventually, but Cole will look to continue it from the boundary line here. Good work in the crowd there to retrieve the ball. Must have kept on running away for a while, but Cole's now got it. Teammates looking for the handoff behind, but he's just going to go back and try to slot this one himself. Goes around the corner, opens up the angle a little bit, and that has gone straight through the middle once again, and the Tigers' sharpshooting continues to start the game. Not sure they've had an easy goal yet, but they keep on kicking them.
Yeah, 5-2, 32, and certainly making the most of this presumed wind advantage, but phenomenal execution really that's seen them bounce out to this lead. Hard to the pocket and just use the stand on the mark all to his advantage to buy that little bit of room to open up the angle expertly. Still a very tough kick. He put it straight through the middle, Eddie Cole. Goals from midfield, very important, and Cole hitting the board, and we've seen Kieran Lovell hitting the board too. He's going pretty well when the midfielders can go.
Yeah, the Tigers, one of the better teams in that respect, aren't they, with their midfielders able to hit the scoreboard. We go back up in the middle again. Hit out one by the Tigers once again, and Big Tompkinson follows up and sends it back inside 50 straight away, not wasting any time. Mark almost juggled there. Nasty head clash between Tigers players, but we play on. The Bombers come away. Really hard contests around the ball here. Nothing easy, as it's just a bit of a scrum on the half-forward line. Eventually breaks clear to Clifford. His handball comes out to Lovell, who looks to turn once and then twice back the other way. Sends it long goalward again. Just going to fall short by the looks of it, and that is through to the right for a behind. That quick entry for the Tigers still looking dangerous and putting the Bombers under a lot of pressure.
Sam Tilley is still down on the ground, and he looks in an enormous amount of pain. He got rocked as he tried to kick the ball. Back to his feet now, which is good to see, but he looked very sore. Great to see him getting back to his feet, and Sam Siggins perhaps not liking all the treatment he's turned out might have been receiving as he tried to get off the ground there and just inserting himself there. He's got a ruck now, Siggins. Trying to find some way to make it even at least out of the middle of the ground. Being hammered, but such good use of this end. Tigers with that incredible goal kicking. It'll be a very tough afternoon for the Bombers from this point. This one's wide, and Siggins Has he taken a one-hander there? Yes, that's a remarkable effort. Yeah, the enormous frame of Jack Tompkinson draped all over him. He somehow hauled that in.
I'm not sure how you managed to wrap your arm around a guy like Tompkinson and still reel in the mark, but that's one way for Siggins to get himself involved in the game as he sends it back forward. Almost another good mark at the back there for the Bombers, but the Tigers will come away with it. You've got a free kick going Lauderdale's way, so they'll get a second chance at this one. Jaden Magro with the chance to send it forward once again. Haven't been too many entries for the Bombers, so they'll be looking to make this one count. He puts it in towards the forward pocket to a pack of players waiting. No one able to take the mark, but that's cleaned up nicely there. Just squeezed across the goal. Elijah Reardon will have the chance to clean up. Under a little bit of pressure, but he does well and sends it into the centre square. That's a beautiful kick finding Luke Graham, and he gives it off to Carter in space. Handball again over the top to Clifford. They've got the numbers advantage here, the Tigers. He hands it over the top to Jordan Lane, and the big man can't quite reel it in, but he does well at ground level to follow up. Back to Clifford, and it looks like he put that one straight through again on the snap. Even when things aren't working for the Tigers, they're still kicking goals. They're 6 goals, 3-39 now. Lauderdale yet to score.
Yeah, I thought the moment had passed when big Jordan Lane just did the typical big man thing and started tumbling beneath his feet, but they just had the numbers advantage because, once again, that speed of ball movement. It was Elijah Reardon in the back pocket. The Bombers, perhaps sensing an opportunity for the first time all afternoon, had pushed up the ground to try and lock it in there a bit. Reardon just knocks it over the top of the zone. Found a man wide open, plenty of space, and then bang, they're out in behind. The numbers running the opposite way. And it's looking pretty ugly here at the moment for the Bombers as we tick in the red time. 6-3-39. They are at 6s and 7s at the back right now, Doyle.
Yeah, as you say, the Tigers just coming out of that back line with some purpose and pace, and they look to win it again out of the middle here. Shuffling the ball forward and putting the pressure on. Spills out to Clifford again. He gets his hands away to Lovell. Ducking and weaving once again and sends it back inside 50. Falls down the ground by Gardner, but the Bombers will look to clear it. Can't quite find a set of hands though, and the Tigers come back again. High ball towards goal, but that's an easy intercept mark from Will Poland there, and he'll try to hold a bit of possession here and just slow things down. Front cross, Walsh still inside the defensive 50. Short one given off to Dylan Fife here. Nothing easy here for the Bombers as they try to exit their defensive area. Another little chipping ball to Franklin. Back across goal again. Still trying to get into that midfield area, and they finally make it outside their defensive 50 as it comes to McGuinness. What can he find further afield? Open man on the wing there is Williams, and he gives the handball away. Slowly edging their way forward down the wing here and taking a bit of the sting out of the contest, which would be a positive for them, but the problem is Tigers bringing the pressure, and there could be another turnover here. Lovell looks to clear it out of the traffic. He can't quite get away, but he'll get a free kick for a high tackle and move it on quickly. And again, finds an open man with Lane taking the mark. Just outside the centre square, pumps it high and long. Who's the target up forward? Almost a mark taken there, but it just spills loose. Once again, the Bombers will look to clear. Comes out to Blackburn, but it's spilled by him. Another repeat entry for the Tigers. Can they find a mark here? Nothing going, but it spills down towards Luke Graham. Evades the tackle, squeezes the kick away, but that's just going to roll into a pack of players. Gardner at ground level, almost the unlikely hero Crumming. Bombs again under pressure, but starting to find their way out of the back line a little more. That kick, though, will not do them any favours, and that'll come straight back again with a free kick for the Tigers.
Yeah, the skill execution just a little bit lacking at the moment here from the Bombers. You can see what they're trying to do, settle it down, keep it under the wing, play this chip mark game, but their foot skill's just letting them down at the moment. And when they turn it over, the Tigers really making them pay by just directly getting it in there and putting this defence under the pump as this one's taken out of play there. Taking in for a throw in, but really nothing. There's been some statement from the Tigers in the opening quarter. We're at the Twin Ovals. Needing to stem the bleeding for the Bombers. Hoping to hold on to quarter time and maybe a little damage with second quarter as a big push is ignored there from Tompkinson. I don't know how he got away with that. Just shoved his man out, bustling through Fergus. Kenny is brought to ground. Thinks the tackle there by two of them. How Tompkinson got away with that one.
I stopped trying to understand ruck free kicks a long time ago.
That's probably a wisdom on display there, Julie, as this one's one down by Tyler Carter. Some nice ruck work there from the forward. Trying to get it out of Franklin, and eventually they will. They send it towards the wing. Plenty of Tigers' bodies back there, though. And a free kick has been blown a block, preventing Tompkinson, who wanted to get that ball back quickly. Delayed it as long as he could to not give away the 50 there, the big fella. Some good gamesmanship, making sure it was in fact going to the only man in the region there, but got it to him eventually. McGuinness, again, quite content to switch it up from the back, went to William Poland. Poland with a little bit of dash now. That's a nice little chip kick over the top. Might open something up here for the Bombers. An opportunity for Steinbauer. Sends them forward. Reardon with the best sit. Fumbled one he'd normally take and just volleyed it out of midair. Back into the dispute. The Tigers now through Dylan Fife. Quick handball. A chance perhaps from range for Walsh. He drives it to the square. Defensive spoil came from Donnelly. Reardon was there and just skipped round one. Full was the other side of the pillow as ever. Here's Elijah Reardon and they repel the area. Tough one for Tompkinson. Seized by Hooker as soon as he took it. Good tackle laid by Tilly. Good to see he's all right. Tompkinson kicking in danger, I would have thought, given a man had the hand on the ball and having got away with a couple of free kicks in recent moments. He wasn't going to get away with that one.
Yeah, I'm not too sure he can complain too much about that with the run he's had so far, but the Bombers will get another chance here. And as he said, the wind really seems to be holding the ball up for them. That shot was from inside 50 and fell a fair way short. So see if they can find something a bit clearer here. The chip kick doesn't find a target, and that's just going to be scruffed out of bound off the boot of Siggins. They haven't been able to find much from open play, so maybe something around the stoppage will get the Bombers on the board here, but as I said, the Tigers in the middle of the ground has been the dominant team so far. Wait for the ball to come back in. Went down early there, but the team still comes away with the ball. Eddie Cole scraps it forward. Got a big numbers disadvantage for Dygan there, so he's happy to just take it out over the line. And once again have a stoppage up towards the wing.
Looking quarter number one. The Bombers find something late with at least managed to stem the bleeding a little from the back half of the quarter. With releasing goals in the first 7 minutes of the contest. Round 11, Marlon didn't have it. The ball locked it forward. Again, just holds up, favouring the man in front. That was College. Taken away by Zach Adams. He just kicks it into the middle of the ground. Fumbled by a couple. That was cleverly done by Tyler Carter. Got it out to George O'Neill, who's got some wheels. He could race him behind and add another one, O'Neill, but he shanks the kick. And a little untidy. It's about the first time all quarter you can direct that criticism at the Tigers forward line.
Yeah, they've been pretty much perfect so far, haven't they? But that one just sliding off the boot a little bit. But again, it was that quick movement forward. It wasn't perfect from the Tigers, but Carter just making something happen there and getting the ball forward. Let's see what the Bombers can do coming out of defence here. Long kick outside the defensive 50. That's a good mark. He's going to be paid, yes. Gardner gets the mark there and he'll look to send it straight back in. Kicks it along the 50-metre arc. Lockie Griggs with the chance now. Plays on and that one scuffs off the boot a little bit. Almost sneaks out the back, but it's cleaned up and cleared away. Almost out on the full right on that 50-metre arc, but they ball it up and try to make something happen from the stoppage here.
28 minutes to tick by. Just to think the siren fairly imminent. Probably an opportunity for one more score. Hopefully, as we see the ball back into play here. Siggins in the ruck against Gardner. One it down. Ball doesn't get much distance there on the clearing kick. Is that high on Bryce Walsh? Indeed it is. The kick will go his way. Alan Christensen. The Bombers happy just almost play for a quarter time here at the moment and then try and make their move in the second term. Damage limitation in the back half of the quarter. When a Marlon thrown into the contest a little. So we need quarter number 2. And been shut out thus far, and there's still time for the Tigers to add more, although this one's won again by Leonard Marlin, who turns it straight over to Ben Donnelly. Again, that kick just holding up. Donnelly with the spot a target at half court. He sends it in that direction, but it's chopped off by Steinbaum. Played on into a little bit of trouble though. Marlin's handball straight to Marcus Gardner. Gardner's kick fairly aimless, and the interceptor Poland is half back there doing what he does best. Again, methodical from the back by the Bombers. Victoria's kicking to enable that approach. Marlin getting busy, squares it up. Spider-Man in some space, and Williams immediately just returns it across. So very patient indeed, and that will be the end of quarter number 1 here at the Twin Ovals. What a start for the home side. 6-5-41. The Bombers shut out, yet to score. It's one that we probably won't have a clearer picture of till half-time, given a bit of a wind advantage you'd assume, Dooley, but I'm going to suggest it is in a 40-point wind advantage.
I don't think it's going to be quite that much, is it? That was just an onslaught from the Tigers, really, from the first bounce, and they didn't let up. So, as you say, we'll have to see what happens in the second quarter, but a great start for the Tigers.
We'll be back shortly with quarter number 2.
out of their huddles to jump back in. Yeah, so I was undecided, and then Gilly's like, oh yeah, mate, withdraw, we want to go. So, welcome back here for quarter number 2. It is the Tigers holding sway 41-0. And it's pretty brutal first term for the Bombers. Bleak stuff. They should have a bit of a wind advantage in quarter number 2. Is it going to be enough though, Dawley? Where do you think they need to turn this around to get back into the game?
I think they've just got to find a way to break through that half forward line. The half back line for the Tigers rather. They started to stem the tide a little bit in the middle of the ground towards the end of that term, but they just couldn't find that final kick inside 50. So if they can find a way to break the armour of the Tigers' defence, that's going to be the key, but there's certainly no obvious avenue to goal at the moment, is there?
Yeah, just going to need to start winning it out of the middle a little more perhaps, and at least try and put some pressure on this Tigers' defence. Rarely went in there, but as we mentioned, the wind probably playing a bit of a role in that. Just how much we're about to find out here. Certainly been an impressive response to the Tigers off the back of I would say a disappointing result from last week at home against the Northern Bombers, especially in that last quarter when they were really overrun. Felt like the game was set for them to get a result and really capitulate in that final term. So undoubtedly Trent Bowman was after a response. He's got that in quarter number 1. They'll be able to keep it going. Lauderdale, well, they had been trending pretty well. Started 0-3. And then won their next 3, looking fantastic. They're more like the side from the opening few rounds so far this afternoon, but certainly an opportunity to turn it around here in quarter number 2. Easy to that advantage. If they can get it back within a couple of goals at half-time, that would be a pretty good job, I'd say, given how efficient the Tigers were, taking some pretty tough chances in quarter number 1.
Yeah, they'll need the Tigers to lose a bit of that goal sense, I think, moving forward, because if they keep putting through those tough chances that they had, there's no slowing them down, really. There's not much you can do.
Hayden Smith will duel with Tompkinson to start quarter number 2. We are underway here at the Twin Ovals, and Smith does win this down, volleyed out of the air by Sam Tilley, who follows up and wins the clearance as well as Tilley. Good to see he's recovered after he pulled up sore in quarter number 1. This one tumbles into the pocket, into dispute there, and taken away by Parker, and he chipped it short. Found Adams. He looks up, and this is where the Bombers really came unstuck in quarter number 1. There's some nice work there from Adams, selling a little bit of candy. Sends it up towards the wing, and Lennon Marlin parks behind the ball, takes the mark, and then just looks to chip one. Finds a target, nicely massaged there from Lennon Marlin. Found Blackburn. Blackburn turns and sends them inside 50. Christensen's there, but drifting in front to take the intercept is Elijah Reardon.
Yeah, Reardon's been everywhere in the back line here so far for the Tigers, and he switches it across the defence there. As you said, this is where Lauderdale was struggling in that first quarter, so let's see if the Tigers can make a bit more headway. Send it down the wing. Just about finds Cole, but bounces out of bounds before he can reel it in. Tigers have been fantastic around the stoppages so far. They'll be looking to get a bit more forward momentum into the breeze here. Looks like we're going to have an interesting ruck contest here as the players try to figure out who's actually going to contest. It's just Nat Franklin on his own, and it spills out the back. Christensen comes and collects, and he's immediately tackled. Gets a handball away to Franklin. He sends it inside 50. Swirling around in the breeze by the looks of it. That's Sam Siggins picking it up beautifully, sending the snap goalward, but it just doesn't quite work its way back and drifts through. First score of the day for Lauderdale, not the one they would have been hoping for, but at least they're on the board now.
They got something, and at least they're getting the ball inside 50 to start the quarter. Sam Siggins just unable to take it. That was the thing that really stood out. I mean, you look at 6'5", and you think, oh, yeah, it's fairly regulation, but I think you probably would have expected to get less of a return from the location of those shots. 2 from outside 50 for goals, 1 from tight to the boundary line. So they've done very well as this one's chipped inside by Luke Graham. Found a target in Marcus Gardner, who wheels and sends them inside 50, and all alone is Jordan Lane. How do you leave a man that size in that much space?
Yeah, he's a big target, isn't he? I don't know how you lose track of him, and they certainly would have known about him coming in. He's kicked plenty of goals this season, so he looked to add to his tally of 12 for the year here. It'll be interesting to see how shots on goal for the Tigers go into the breeze.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he gets the carry on this one. Certainly a couple of shots the Bombers did have in the first quarter pulled up quite short, so this will be a good test. Jordan Lane, as you mentioned, in good goal-kicking form this year, the big man. He'll set sail from just inside the arc of 50. He kicks from about 45, and it holds up, but the line is good. It's through the middle, and the Tigers add another one. They pick up right where they left off in quarter number one and extend the lead to 46 points. The Bombers, that is not what they needed to concede the first one here in the second term.
No, it was the start the Bombers needed in general play. They just couldn't quite convert, and then once again the Tigers quickly move it forward and convert a shot that you wouldn't necessarily bank on them kicking every day of the week. But credit to them, they're taking the most of their chances, and with the breeze playing like this, every goal they can get into it might be a little bonus come the end of the game.
Yeah, I think it definitely suggests that it wasn't a 40-point breeze we're dealing with here. And at the end of the day, the breeze doesn't impact these centre contests a whole lot, and that's where they really beat them up in the first quarter. As they'll go inside 50 once more, it floats towards the arc. It's spoiled from behind. Came in there from Adams. Elijah Reardon trying to get to work and drive some play off half-back. Just couldn't quite make it work for him, and Christensen comes through. And they throw in at half-forward for the Bombers.
Good win at the centre clearance for the Bombers there. That's the kind of production they need. Let's see if they can keep that going with another stoppage on the half-forward line here. Looks like we've got the ruckman to the contest this time. Gardner taps it down. Finds a midfielder, but it's scrappy clearance there. Eventually run out by Tilly. Bombers inside 50 and need to make something happen here. And ball at the back comes to Christensen, and then he gives it away to Payton. Can't quite reel it in, and it's going to be cleared once again by Clifford. He sends it across the face of goal. No one there for the Tigers, and it comes to Sutton, who sends it right back where it came from. Top of the square. Reardon got a good fly there, but couldn't get hands to it. Good tackle laid by the Tigers defenders there. This is a golden opportunity for the Bombers to try and make something happen from a stoppage right in front of goal. And nice close.
Yeah, Christensen just flicking the head back there, trying to draw the high decision. The umpire not buying it. He tosses it up at the top of the square. Siggins trying to use his frame, bullocking away. His handball straight to an opponent, though. The clear and kick won't clear the defensive 50 mark. Not quite taken by Tilly. From ground level, trying to make it happen is Bryce Walsh. And he's wrapped up in a good tackle. Ball up. Half forward again for the Bombers as they try and find this first goal of the afternoon that's thus far eluded them. Handball from Lennon Marlin, couldn't quite find Magro. They'd love to get him more involved. Such a key mover for him. And again, it's that fast ball movement from the Tigers. Tougher into the wind, but they're doing pretty well to advance it to half forward here. Back goes Luke Graham. Now a chance for Daigan to punch it forward. It holds up, and it was a beautiful kick from Daigan to the advantage of Godomski. Spilled one he should have had. They keep going, though, and then they slam it on the boot and find Jordan Lane, 15 out, and a chance for their 8th of the afternoon. They are just looking so much more efficient going forward than the Bombers right now.
Everything's just working at the moment, isn't it? It's sort of a rushed kick towards goal, and once again, Jordan Lane getting himself into the right place at the right time. And this looks like being a rare regulation shot on goal for the Tigers.
He's already kicked one here this quarter, Jordan Lane. Can he find another to extend the lead to 52 points? Pretty routine chance this one, given the ones they have been scoring this afternoon. He makes no mistake, Jordan Lane extends the lead to 52 points. This was meant to be a tight arm wrestle of a game between two of the very best in the league, Dooley. It's been anything but. This is an utter slaughter right now.
Yeah, and it's been tough to pick the pecking order in that middle of the table so far this season, hasn't it? But this is a real statement from the Tigers early on that they want to put themselves at the top of that pack. So if they can continue on like this, it'll certainly send a message to the rest of the teams in that kind of area.
Yeah, 4-2 sitting second. I think most had them as the most likely challengers, but Lauderdale have emerged in the last few weeks. They've delivered on perhaps that pre-season hype, but geez, they're getting smashed here today.
Bombers managed to win the ball down in the middle. Sounds like we've got a free kick. That one's going to go to Dylan Fife. Chance to get the ball moving out of the middle here for the Bombers. Plays on and sends it inside 50. And that's a strong mark there from Sam Siggins. That's what they've been looking for here. Someone to step up inside 50 and and create some chances. And I think we knew that Siggins was definitely going to be the most likely man to do that.
Yeah, he's a leader. He needs to step up and kick his side's first of the afternoon here. Just needs to get him on the board. It goes without saying this is an enormous kick. He's a key man for his side, and this is a big moment in the match for them.
The breeze at his back. He'll walk in and kick from just outside 50. Looks pretty good off the boot, but it's just narrow to the near side. Those are the kind of chances they really need to take if they want to come back from a deficit like this.
Yeah, 2 behinds for Siggins this quarter, 2 chances. Neither, clear cut. You should be dobbing that every time. But in a game like this, where you're trailing by so much and the other team's been so efficient, you've just got to take them. And 50 points in arrears and not making any inroads here. 2 goals to none in favour of the Tigers this quarter. The home side absolutely all over them at the moment. It's been fantastic football and a great response from a midfield group that had their colours lowered last week. They've really responded today. Likes of Cole and Lovell, Clifford round the ball, really impacted things. Tompkinson was pretty good in the wet last week. Here's Graham, dishes the handball out. He's been busy, Graham. Some class there with a little overhead handball from Lovell. Found its way through to Riley Ashland. They're just moving the ball by hand nicely. Now they chip it up to Gardner, who uses his size to block Poland and take the mark. A one-on-one inside 50. Tyler Carter hits the deck. Will that bring Kingston back into play? He got the back of Carter there, got away with it a little. Oh, he didn't escape the second umpire's notice, though. The controlling umpire around the play said that's all right, but the umpire in the centre square said, nah, right in the back, and another great chance here.
Yeah, I think we had a good angle at that one from here. There was maybe one in the back and then one across the back of the head, and so Carter will line up for his first goal of the day. He's been in pretty good form since returning from injury, hasn't he? Certainly added to the really good forward brigade the Tigers have.
Yeah, moving well for a big man coming off that injury to extend the lead to 57 points. Tyler Carter makes no mistake, turns and raises an arm to the crowd. The home fans must be absolutely loving this. They were probably expecting quite the battle this afternoon. It's 57 points. They've kicked 3 goals to none this quarter. The Bombers looking absolutely lost right now.
I think maybe one of the biggest concerns for the Bombers would be that these big forwards for the Tigers weren't really involved in the first quarter. And you've got Jordan Lane kicking 2 and Tyler Carter kicking 1 so far in this quarter, with the Tigers going into the breeze. And if they get going, it suddenly looks like an even bigger proposition coming back from here.
Yeah, they just... Magro being pushed in the middle, they need something, a spark, a lift from somewhere, but at the moment, the defence just looks outmatched to me.
Yeah, they're struggling to really put a stop to anything that the Tigers are sending inside 50. Once again, Tompkinson almost gets it, but it's won away by Smith in the end. Cole burrows it out. Tigers inside 50 once again, and Lane with the one hand just reels it in. Nothing that they can do to stop him at the moment. He's in the right place at the right time and doing all the right things there.
Yeah, and not a slouch he held off there, and Josh McGuinness one-on-one. Yeah, good battle here. He just holds him off with one arm, uses the other juke to bring it in. He could have 3 in the quarter. They are absolutely flying here, the Tigers.
Made that look a lot easier than it was, I'm sure, as you say. And let's see if he can do the same with the kick here. For his 3rd in the quarter, and to pile on even more pain for the Bombers. He's certainly got the distance there, but he's pushed it across the face. That's a behind for Lane. Lead up to 58 points for the Tigers.
It is a shellacking of the Twin Ovals, and the Bombers in dire need of a goal. Some form of response here. As this one swung out to the wing, good spoil from behind. Steinbauer out after it. Opted to try and keep it in play, but just running out of real estate there. And we'll have a stoppage at half forward for the Tigers, a 58-point lead. This has been seriously impressive from the second-placed Tigers, flexing their muscles and saying, no, we are the ones who are going to challenge this year. We're going to challenge Launceston. This one's worked across. Umpire spotted something over the shoulder by the looks of, so free kick will go the way of the Tigers. It just gets better for them. But certainly this is not the Bombers side we saw beating Launceston a few weeks ago.
No. The week's a long time in footy, isn't it? And we're seeing that here. Some really different fortunes for both sides as the Tigers come inside 50 again. That's a good mark taken there by Hooker at the back of the pack. That's what they need more of if they're going to stem the tide a little bit here. But once again, he's left searching for an option coming out of defence. Just sends it long down the wing. Tompkinson had the sit there, but it sneaks out the back for the Bombers. Stanley does well, gets it away there. But once again, they're under siege immediately. There's nothing easy here around the contest. They scrap it inside 50. Siggins comes out to collect. Does he keep it in play? No, he doesn't.
You decided plenty of Tigers around me. Let's just have a stoppage and get some reinforcements up here.
Yeah, he's looked to take it out of the ruck a couple of times, hasn't he? So maybe he's hoping to get something from the ball in here.
Trying to get something to spark his side here. But it went over the back guard. A good smother from Christensen, then follows up and lays a tackle. That's what they need to see more of. The key leaders trying to make an impact around the ball. Christensen, the smother, and then the tackle. The first steps on a very long journey back into this game. Siggins again trying to make something happen from the ruck. Track back in there by it's Stanley. Game number 100 this afternoon. Certainly not going to how he would have liked the script. Christensen on hands and knees, couldn't quite gather it. Came out to Bryce Walsh, just slams it on the boot. Siggins a likely target. From behind, Sorty with the spoil. Little handball, and then another one. And a third handball will, well, I was going to say, release the counter-attack, and eventually it does. Clifford did well, showed composure, tight to the line, kicked to a contest. Lennon Marlin comes away with it. Swung it out to Hooker. Hooker drives the Bombers deep inside 50. It floats over all comers out the back. Christensen again showing great tenacity, Alan Christensen. There was no prior opportunity, so no holding the ball. You see he is desperately trying to will his side back into this one.
Yeah, they need a spark here, Lauderdale, and Christensen applying plenty of pressure, trying to get something going in attack here as the ball goes up. It's brought down by Siggins. He spins and kicks on the move, and that one goes across the face. That's his third little half chance. I wouldn't even call that a half chance, probably. That's more of a quarter chance, but he hasn't quite been able to get anything to go at the moment.
It would have been a goal of the year contender, I reckon. It was some super stuff out of the ruck, spinning one way and the other, but again, just lacking the finish. And he's done 100% of the scoring for his side this afternoon, but that's only 3 behinds as Gardner. You can see how much easier it has been for the Tigers to move the ball even in spite of the wind as they come unstuck here. Big Hayden Smith, and the speed of ball movement's been the real noticeable thing this afternoon. When Marlin gets it and he tries to get it moving quickly, it carries out the back, and that's the value in just getting it forward with a bit of speed. Maybe create a bit of a mismatch. Wheeling and going there was Franklin. Sends it to the square. Siggins didn't have the position, and it squeezes through for a minor score only. And the 16-minute mark here of quarter number 2. 56 points to lead.
Reardon once again looking to drive it out of defence here. 3-on-1 for Gardner. He gets stuck at the back of the pack but brings it down. Tigers look to find a bit of space out wide here with Griggs sending it forward. A good spoil over the line there from Bodie Kingston. Look to reset with the ball in pretty much right on centre wing here in front of the interchange gates. One down by the Tigers. Lovell sends it forward quickly out of the stoppage. Back with the flight there was Lennon Marlin. Can't quite reel it in. Graham gets the handball away, but it's turned over. Payton chips it just down towards Christensen. He's worried off the ball. Dygan comes in and collects. And Ashland sends it forward again. It's a high ball. Almost reeled in there by the Tigers, but it's the Bombers who look to come away into a bit of trouble there. Tried to take the tackle on. Ashland does well and gets it over to Clifford. Looks like they've got a bit of momentum here, and that's a lovely kick into the pocket. Tyler Carter once again lost his man. This is a tough shot from the boundary, but we've seen him kick these today, haven't we?
Yeah, the wind should push it back across if you can just stand it out to the right-hand goalpost. Might be able to work it back on the breeze. Might be a slightly easier kick than usual, but still tough stuff. He's capable, we know that. He opens up the angle in the encounter and snaps on the left. Does he have the journey? He does. It carries over Leonard Marlin. It is a 62-point ball game. The Tigers flexing their muscles here, and it's Lauderdale just in a world of pain.
Once again, that's just the Tigers making the difficult look easy, isn't it? Carter really just wheeled around and made that look regulation, and that's been the story of the day so far. They're creating a lot of chances, and they're taking pretty much all of them.
Yeah, and credit to Riley Ashland too, who's tackled to win the ball back. The holding the ball decision created that chance. The Bombers maybe just starting to send a few bodies forward, thinking they could get there. Ashland brings them down. Suddenly, it's an open forward 50. There's space for Carter to lead into. A lovely kick finds him, and bang, they have goal number 10.
Yeah, as you say, really good defensive work setting up the goal. There's been a lot of that for the Tigers. See if they can keep it going here. Lovell on the move. Squeezes the ball out of the middle. A little tap on there, but doesn't quite find a man, and the Bombers will look to rebound. Leonard Marlin kicks towards the edge of the centre square, and that's well marked there by Hooker, but he's brought down immediately. Wins the free kick, though. Tompkinson very keen to lay the tackle there, but just gave one away. Hooker will look to send them inside 50. They need an answer here. High ball to the contest and a good fly from Siggins, and he takes a strong mark. That's what they've needed.
He's been a lone hand up there, hasn't he? He's been the only one who's looked like doing something, and a good chance here to finally get a deserved goal. And he kicked 3 straight behinds. They haven't been regulation chances. To say this is needed is the understatement of the season, I think, Dawley.
I think so. They just need to get some sort of momentum on their side heading into the break. It's going to be a big deficit at halftime, but can they start to peg it back to something manageable? Siggins lets fly from just in front of the 50. That looks like it's just fading, and it just again sneaks through the near side. They just can't find that one goal to get them on the board, can they?
Yeah, 4 behinds now for Siggins. That one certainly gettable, and when you're 10 goals down, you simply have to take those chances. He's trying his heart out there, Siggins. He's been a great target. He's Harry Richmond. They'd love to get him more involved in the forward line. Chipped it to McGuinness. So their key movers start to get their hands on the ball a little. Sutton ends up with it. He looks up at a crowded 50 arc and just says, I'll set it up to Siggins once again. Great fly and spoil from Elijah Reardon. Handball chain found its way to Lovell. His kick a little low, got smothered, turned over back to Sutton. A chance now for Poland. Wheels onto the left and just stands it up into the pocket. It was a lovely kick, and he finds the 100-gamer, Ed Stanley. We saw the Tigers kick one from this exact spot in quarter number 1, and trying to repeat that is Stanley, who turns onto the right, opens up the angle just as Eddie Cole did, and he gets it last. The Bombers first of the afternoon. Well, the longest journey starts with a single step, they say, Dooley. They cut it back to 55 points. It's an enormous journey ahead of them, that's for sure.
It is, but at least they've made a start, haven't they? And it's good to see Stanley in that milestone game, as you say, get on the board, and maybe that can be the spark that sort of gets them going in a big game for him. They'd want to put forward a better performance than this, and they'll be hoping to carry that momentum into, I guess, the end of this quarter, trying to stem the tide still and then take it forward into the third.
Well, even if the game does become beyond them, you just don't want to get, trounced by 100 points or something by a team who might play in finals later in the year. That can scar, that sort of result. He's charging forward is Ashland. Oh, Gardner, again, a marking target. And Gardner, the win against him would be a tough kick, but just the way they've been dominant today, you wouldn't bet against Vic Gardner. And again, just fast ball movement, just unlocking this Bombers' defence.
And the tools for the Tigers must be absolutely loving playing on a day like today after last week.
Yeah.
Really was not suited to them, but they're getting great service from their midfielders, and they're making them stick at the moment.
Big Marcus Gardner could respond immediately to the Bombers' first of the afternoon. He kicks from just inside 50. Won't have the journey. You can see the wind impact. Lane almost marked it from behind. Spoiled away from him and into the pocket for a stoppage as Jordan Lane threatened to kick yet another. He has been a likely target there this afternoon. So in red time, in the second quarter. 55 points the lead and looking to extend it here. Unopposed, the ruck was one down though, but the Tigers will get it. Squaring ball's a dangerous one, and the mark is taken by Zach Adams, bobbing up in attack now.
Everyone's getting involved here, aren't they? And just everything's working for the Tigers. That was a good centering ball, but just trying to get it across into the middle, and Adams had the position and took the mark. So we talked about Lauderdale wanting to take some momentum into the second half, and Adams could really steal all of that back here with this one kick.
So to restore their 10-goal buffer here, noted goal kicker Adams, and the wind takes a hold of that. Never looked likely, always hung out to his right, and a minor score only. So the lead now at 56 points.
Still time for the Bombers to make a bit of an indent here as Hooker wanders out of the goal square. Pumps the ball deep down onto the wing. He's got a one-on-one contest, and that's a good mark taken out the back there by Marlin. Chips it further wide. Again finds the man. McGuinness takes the mark. He's going to look to move it quickly. Inside 50, but that's an easy intercept mark there for Tompkinson. Once again, the Tigers had the numbers around the contest. They're just getting to the right positions at the moment, and Tompkinson will look to send them back outside the defensive 50. High ball up onto the wing, a big pack of players waiting. No one can take the mark, and it spills out the back. It's the Bombers that are going to win it and come back inside attack. That could have been a mark there, but it spills to Fife. High up and under towards the goal line. And Donnelly there didn't want to take any chances. Just goes the big double fister through for another behind for the Bombers.
Yeah, I don't mind that approach. It's just so much easier to clear your defensive 50 when you can take a kick in and run it out to 20 out unopposed than be tight to the boundary line. I think it's a really intelligent play there from Donnelly.
I think that makes sense, yeah. Especially, apart from anything else, when the ball's swirling around in that breeze up there, he may not have backed himself to necessarily take the mark. So when you've got a low-risk way to get the ball back, just take that, and with the way Reardon's been distributing from these kick-ins, you'd back him in again. Finds a target once again there. College gives it back to Reardon. Handball straight back to College, but not quite to him where he wanted it. And the Bombers win it back inside 50. Another good chance for them here. Siggins turns and fires. Didn't have a chance to steady and find where the goals were there, but that's one of those ones that if it's their day, that one goes through, doesn't it?
Well, the Tigers have been taking, they haven't had half chances. Sam Siggins says 5 behinds for the quarter for them.
It's 4 or 5, isn't it?
They're mounting at any rate.
And you can't really blame him for any of them. They're all tough shots, but you just need 1 or 2 to go through.
Yeah, needs something. There's probably one I'd say he should have had, but most of them have been pretty sharp chances under pressure or from tough angles. But yeah, 1-7-13 to 10-7-67. It has been pretty efficient from the Tigers. The same cannot be said for the Bombers, but certainly the scoring chances the Tigers have dwarfed them as Reardon, this time rather than going the little run it off half-back routine, just opts for a bit of distance, and a great mark taken by Jordan Lane. Strong pair of hands in a sea of bodies, just plucked it. They keep it moving quickly. Riley Ashland's been impressive this afternoon. Gets into a little bit of trouble, and has he run too far? He has. Well, put the mockers on him there. Nicely done. Bryce Walsh just able to impact him, force him to take that extra step. Christensen put to ground off the ball. Walsh swings it into the pocket. Siggins the target. Couldn't quite bring it down under pressure. Adams got the handball away, and they're going to clear the area through Godomski. Gardner extended a juke. Fell there to Sutton. Great tackle by the big man Gardner. Then picking up was O'Neill. He was quickly dispossessed. Sutton following up his effort. And a third time got a shove in the back for his troubles by Ashland. And the umpire spotting that one. Leaving free kick paid there and might give them a chance to set something up. Nice kick. And then trying to buy the 50 metres there is Bryce Walsh. And the umpire says, no, just go back and take your kick, sir.
Worth the try, wasn't it? And Gardner looked to put a little bit into that little bump after the mark, but
It's a little law, it may well be there. I mean, I don't think it was that kind of forcible contact as they take it quickly. Walsh sets sail, and Walsh with a fine goal. Well, he didn't need the 50 metres, as it turns out. He just wheeled, did it himself, and then tries to get under the skin of Jordan Lane and maybe buy himself another free kick as they try and find a way back into it. But goal number 2 comes, and a fantastic finish from Bryce Walsh.
Yeah, a great kick there, and that's just what they needed here. You'd think that might be the last score before half-time, and obviously still a very big deficit to overcome, but at least they've managed to get themselves on the board with a couple of goals, and maybe that effort from Walsh can just spark something after the break.
Yeah, it's hard to see them getting back into contention. Certainly going to be tough sledding from quarter number 3 to make inroads with the wind as it is, but at least avoid this being an absolute blowout, I think, is priority number 1, what was looking like a big threat.
Yeah, so they'll try to win it again out of the middle here. Christensen's gone into the middle, and has he won a free kick here? No, but the Bombers have, and he'll get it out the back here, Christensen. Sends it out wide. Fife in space, gives the handball over the top. Now pump it inside 50 once again. Can they sneak another late goal here? Everything's under pressure still. That tackle looked like it might have slipped a little bit high, but the umpire says ball it up. Can't be long left here, but can the Bombers just steal one more goal before the halftime break? Tompkinson in the ruck, wins it down. Reardon swings around onto his right and kicks a high up and under to 50. Christensen starting to get involved here, squeezes that kick away, but again, it's just narrow to the near side. And that will be halftime there. Bombers almost snuck through for an extra goal there, but in the end, they trail by 57 points at the main break. Yeah,
it's been a pretty dominant half of football from the Tigers, 10-7-67, leading the Bombers 2-8-20. 2-8 tells a little bit of a story in itself. In a game they've been outplayed, and you simply can't afford to not take your chances. They haven't been able to take those half chances. The Tigers have barely missed a half chance. They've been fantastic inside forward 50. And they've done a tremendous job there, given that there is a fair amount of wind at this ground here, kicking into it in that quarter, and they've extended their lead.
Yeah, and as you say, the scoring shots for Lauderdale would suggest that breeze is playing a part, but they just couldn't quite find the big sticks enough. Saw the Tigers continue to pull away, and now they'll have a chance to really put their foot down with the breeze at their backs again in the third quarter. Yeah,
a chance to perhaps kill the contest off in the Premiership quarter, as they refer to it. We'll be back in around about 15 minutes' time with it for you. The Twin Ovals at half-time. It is the Tigers running right, 10-7-67, 47 points ahead of the Bombers, 2-8-20, with it all to do in the second half.
Nurses Day Friday, which I accept. I do agree with that. Lad.
You should have just probably thought about that.
Something to do with International Nurses Day.
And we are back for the second half here at the Twin Ovals. It is the Tigers holding sway by 47 points over Lauderdale. This was expected to be a close one. It has been anything but through 2 quarters. The Tigers have been outstanding, and they'll have the wind at their backs in quarter number 3. Jacob Dool, it'll take something pretty remarkable to turn this one around.
Yeah, it's been hard to fault the Tigers so far, and something's really going to have to change here for the Bombers to get back into it. Ball batted around after that centre bounce. It's Lauderdale that scruff it forward, but we've got a free kick somewhere behind the play, and it's going to the Bombers, so a little bit of argy-bargy here. Walsh laying the tackle there. Oh, sorry, Hayden Smith laying the tackle when the ball is not in play and about 20 metres away from him. Not sure what the end result is here. They're still going after it, Smith and Tompkinson.
The size between the two of them.
Yeah, it's a more even matchup than a couple that we saw earlier who tried to take on Tompkinson, but Smith is really not happy here, as it looks like there's been a 50-metre penalty as the result of all of that. The Bombers have a perfect chance here to start the quarter quickly. Dead in front. And that one is straight through the middle. Is that just the momentum shifter that the Bombers needed to try and reel this back in a little bit?
Well, it's a good start, and they do what they couldn't do in quarter number 1, which is generate a score to this end. And a gift there to Josh McGuinness in the end, who's marched himself in the middle and has made an immediate impact through the free kick there. I was setting up the scoreboard, so I didn't actually see what happened there, Dooley. I'm not so sure. I just saw the afters.
A free kick in the middle of the ground, and then suddenly there were tackles being laid off the ball, and as you say, Smith really agitated. And the end result is, yeah, a much-needed goal for Lauderdale. They'll take them however they come at the moment, I think.
So, back into the middle, and they've put one goal back there. There's a good tackle laid by Christensen on Clifford. Walsh taps it back to Christensen. Looks like they've changed up the mixture of this on-ball brigade here in quarter number 3, the Bombers. McGuinness deep towards Magros. Had no influence today, Magro. Can be a real star game breaker, but hasn't been able to get his hands on the footy today. The Tigers will repel off half back. That one will just drift into space, making a good last effort to get there, but unable to keep it in play. It was Patton. It'll be a throw in, but you can see it's been tough sledding at times. Trying to bounce off of half back, but should be easier theoretically this quarter for the Tigers than it was the last. One tackle later, the handball was a good one. Christensen taking a tackle by Gardner, and it's spilt out to Kieran Lovell, who drives them forwards there into the square. Good defensive play there from Williams. Trying to gather it was McGuinness. In the end, settles for a stoppage as he laid the tackle. And then he slung to the deck rather unceremoniously there by Luke Graham, sucking him right in. McGuinness, I don't think it was forceful enough to send a man of his stature tumbling to the ground, but the motion was there. Just really dumb that. And McGuinness getting a little love from the umpires early on here.
Yeah, he's certainly done something to get under their skin here, hasn't he? And they needed something to shift the momentum. Maybe just a little bit of niggle from him will do it, as the ball's out on the wing and tough contest around it here. Eventually spills out with Tilly. He chips it inboard. Reeled in there, and the Bombers can look to go inside 50 once again here. It's been a good start so far. Can they add a second goal for the quarter? High ball inside the attacking 50. There's a little push there, and it looks like Siggins is going to have a shot on goal. He's had plenty of chances, Siggins. Maybe this is the one that he needs to just get the radar on and get himself going.
Yeah, perhaps 5 behind today for Sammy Siggins. Can he find a first goal of the afternoon? So one of the easier chances he would have had this afternoon, I'd imagine.
He's had a lot on the move, a lot facing away from goal, but this one's pretty much dead in front by the looks of it. Slow approach. Looks good off the boot. He liked it straight away, and that's the first goal of the day for Sam Siggins. And Lauderdale have kicked the first 2 of the quarter here. Still trailing by 35 points, but they're starting to make some inroads.
Yep, 2 goals to start the term. Perhaps the breeze has died down a little bit here. Just judging by that kick, had pretty good carry on it from Siggins. So that might not be as much of a factor here in the second half, but the lead that the Tigers set up certainly is, and still a commanding lead of 35 points, but 2 goals to none in the opening few minutes of the term to what has been the more difficult end to score at today. A good start, and making some inroads, as you say, Jacob. It's just a matter of carrying on and continuing to win the ball out of the middle as they have. McGuinness been moved into the midfield. That's certainly made an impact, as has Christensen. So they've really changed the mix-up in there. Hayden Smith gathers. He looks to skip away from Big Tompkinson. Handball went back there to Tilly. Tilly drives them towards half forward. Harry Richmond the target. The Tigers do pretty well to work their way out of the situation. Reardon worked his way into trouble, so just had to slam it on the boot. The kick turned out all right, though. Handball forward, couldn't quite find Tompkinson. Tompkinson stooping to try and win it. Had some time to release the handball, found his man, and then they tumble it forwards once more. It's out the back, and they're on here. If he can get it to Lane in space, couldn't quite gather it, Carter. Did it in the end, though. Got it to Daigan. Daigan with the snap, and the Tigers respond and restore the lead to 41 points. He just got it out to him, and Daigan skips away to get the response the home side are after.
Once again, the conversion once inside 50 is really a strong point for the Tigers. I think that was their first entry for the quarter, and it certainly wasn't textbook from Carter there on the setup, but he made it work, and Daigan with the tidy finish to just steady things a little bit for the Tigers after a slow start here.
11-7-73 to 4-8-32. I think the Bombers have no option but to play a really attacking open game here, which is going to leave some space in behind for scores potentially like we just saw from the Tigers there.
Yeah, they'll have to throw caution to the wind here with a big deficit still. Ball up in the middle, and Smith gets the tap down and then collects his own work. Can't quite get it cleared on. Tompkinson follows up, but he's dragged down immediately. Smith still really trying to get stuck in around these contests. He's doing well in the ruck, taps it down again, but once again it's just dragged back into the middle. Tompkinson at ground level, can't get it clear. Christensen tries to squeeze a kick away. It falls eventually to Richmond, but Lovell comes away with the turnover. Pumps it back inside 50, and in good position there is Jordan Lane, takes a strong mark. But if he does still have that breeze at his back, he could be a chance from here outside 50.
Well, he was kicking the ball beautifully into the breeze in that second quarter for a couple of goals, so we'll see if he can find a third here. Now, I don't think the distance should be a problem. He's gone back a fair way here, so fancies the shot. A chance to cancel out the Bombers' quick 2 goals to start the term.
He had a big second quarter, Lane, looking to start the third in a similar fashion here. Sends it on its way, and that looks pretty good. Straight through the middle, goal umpire does not have to move. That's 3 goals for Jordan Lane on the day, and the Bombers, after kicking the first 2 goals of the quarter, are on the back foot again as we've got something happening off the ball here. There's been a lot of this suddenly after half-time, really a bit of fire in the contest and plenty happening.
And a free kick has been plucked out of it too, so it might be the old double goal. Looks like Samuel Daigan's been the one to extract the free, and with the wind at his back, distance again should not be a problem. So the old 12-point play could be coming in here, and just a lack of discipline from the Bombers. Frustration probably. They kicked those 2 early goals. They've seen them dissipate immediately. And now, if this goes through the middle, it'll be 3 goals to 2 for the term. So Daigan, he goes back. It's always drifting. Never gave that one much of a chance. A minor score only. But the lead back out to 48 points, and well, they've extended the lead from half-time despite this bright start from the Bombers.
Yeah, and a lucky escape there. Avoid it being worse. Really walking the tightrope, the Bombers, but they need to try and get something going here out of defence. Almost cut off there, and eventually Lovell does win the ball back. Just gets away before he's tackled, but he's won a free kick there. Maybe held the tackle for a bit too long. Lovell sees the target inside 50. Good work coming across and spoiling there from Poland. They see the ball out of bounds inside the Tigers attacking 50.
Yeah, Poland very good at that, leaving his man to try and play the extra at the contest and impact things defensively. Just did it really nicely there. Real risk-reward type player, but did it expertly.
Still a chance here to add to the lead for the Tigers at the stoppage. Carter in the ruck, but it's Smith that gets the tap down. Carter follows up at ground level, and he's immediately besieged by 2 opponents. No chance of getting the ball away there. We'll have another stoppage inside 50 here. Carter uses his body, but Smith again gets the tap down. And again, that ball's not going anywhere. Lauderdale at the very least starting to slow down some of that dominance around the stoppages that the Tigers had earlier. Smith for a 3rd time gets the hit out, but it's Lovell that sharks it and comes away. Works through traffic beautifully there. Almost got out the back, but it just spills out of bound. Tigers holding it in their attacking zone at least here.
Yeah, they're doing a much better job around the contest and switching up the group around the ball, but just that first quarter has just left them so far back that may not count for too much. It was just a blistering start from the Tigers. Superb football and a lead that they might hold all day. Is that over the shoulder? I think Eddie Cole just getting a little high there on Steinbauer. He wants to get things moving quickly. It was a poor kick. Just dropped in the red basket of Sutton. Only just 15. The umpire may be a little generous there as this one's chipped to the wing. Lane impacting things defensively now. Can Griggs gather? He can't. Spills back to Griggs. He doesn't seem to know where the ball is, and then he turns tackler on Poland. Spills out the side. Trying to bustle through there was Hooker. Unable to do so. It's Tompkinson appealing for a free. It's going to go the other way, and a little bit disbelieving is big Jack Tompkinson.
I think it's a good thing we aren't running with the AFL's rules around feedback to the umpires here, because he certainly at least had the arms in the air, and I think there might have been a few words as well.
Yes, plenty of arms in the air, that's for sure. There'll be a few 50s. Glad we haven't quite adopted that as this one's sent in here. There's Reardon. Takes his time, didn't have an option he likes, so just dropped a little short handball to Donnelly. It wasn't Donnelly, it was Godomsky rather, who has done a brilliant job in rushing that one through. Talking about the tactical behind conceded earlier. That was a great example of it.
Took a few tidy touches at ground level there. Wouldn't have been out of place in the NPL with moves like that, as the Tigers again move the ball quickly out of their back line. Got a target there, and that's a strong mark. Racing away on the run. That is a fantastic finish there.
Super goal. Unfortunately, 54 not in the team sheets we've been supplied with at all. So apologies to whoever that is, but that is a fantastic goal from him.
Excuse my hesitation in calling that one. I was just having a quick scan of the team sheet, but look, whoever's kicked it, they've done a very good job there. And once again, the Tigers are just building on this lead. They've had an answer to everything that Lauderdale's thrown at them so far, and it's all working nicely.
It certainly is. Yeah, apologies, but no 54 anywhere that I can see. We've been just sold down the river a little bit there, DALY. Anyway, apologies for that lack of professionalism, but fair to say, there's no 54 in there. We can't tell who 54 has kicked the goal. Anyway, they extend the lead back to 55, and one of the better goals of the day.
Yeah, no, they've once again another good finish from the Tigers, and they just keep on slotting everything that goes their way as the Bombers break out of the middle here. Can't quite find the mark there as Hooker, but they managed to keep possession, pump it inside 50, just to the edge of the arc. McGuinness has moved forward here on a tight angle right on the arc, and he chips it inboards nicely to Christensen. And Alan Christensen will have a chance to answer quickly here for the Bombers. He's managed to get himself involved in the game a bit more since moving into the midfield, but back in his forward post here. See if he can put this one through from a fairly tight angle.
Yeah, can he find something here, Christensen? Badly needed for the Bombers.
That one right off the boot looked like it was going across the face. Falls short as well, but it's rushed through by the Tigers for another behind.
So even at 9 goals now, fair to say not the tidiest work of Alan Christensen's career there. As Reardon chips this one in short and finds Lockie Clifford. Jordan Lane just unable to reel that one in. Might have been better off leaving it from down behind. Don't know if he got a shout or not.
We saw him take one of those one-handers inside 50 earlier in the game, didn't we? But couldn't quite get that one to stick the same way.
A couple of good one-handed snavels here this afternoon. Lane unable to add to it there, but having himself a day is Jordan Lane as Lockie Clifford handballs this one off to Luke Graham. Graham over ahead of his teammate and will spill out a play for a throw-in. Time to counter up there presenting at the ball. So my guess for that goal scorer is Edward Golding, just because I don't think I've called 28 at all today. But Apologies to the viewers out there. If you do know and want to let us know in the comments, by all means, it'd make a nice change from the other links that normally get posted there. Spinning out of there is Bryce Walsh. Fell to Clifford. Clifford with a quick handball to Kieran Lovell. Lovell back to Eddie Cole. The on-ball brigade getting involved here. And a likely marking target. He was the meat in the sandwich though, Lane. Still spilt the way of the Bombers. And there's our mysterious number 54 again, who's bobbed up and kicked a second. So 2 goals to our mystery man here. Please do let us know if you know who that is. We'll endeavour to find out at 3/4 time for you if not. But the Tigers have got another one and they're out by 10 goals and they are absolutely flying.
That's another nice finish too, isn't it? I can already tell that he's going to kick a bag in this second half, and I'm going to be sitting at work on Monday cutting together the highlights and listening to myself not knowing who it is. But that's okay. The Tigers will be very happy with his work. Another tidy finish there, and once again they're just kicking away. It's out to a 60-point margin once again here. And just when the Bombers early in this quarter looked like they might be shifting the momentum a little bit, it's been taken away from them once again. Can they just stem the tide out of the middle of the ground here? Gardner, beautiful tap down there to Clifford. Great clearance there. Can't quite get a clean kick away, but he gets it forward. Christensen wins it back here for the Bombers and chips it down the wing. McGuinness. Ooh, tackle there from Reardon when Steinbell maybe wasn't in possession. Free kick for the Bombers here. Goes wide once again. Another entry here inside 50. Just chips it to the edge of the arc. Fletcher Hooker's got the ball. He's a long way from home though and on the tight angle. Siggins asking for it in the goal square. He's been the most likely target all game. That's where it heads. Can't quite take the mark. Spills out the back. Just blasted away there with the fist. Reardon picks up the loose ball and clears it once again. The Bombers will rebound here through Bodie Kingston. They're just working their way down the wings here every time. And once again, they get the ball to this half-forward area. McGuinness takes the mark. Just need to find that target inside 50 here. He gets a lead short. Executes nicely with the chip kick there, and Hooker takes the mark. Almost identical spot to where he had the ball just 30 seconds ago. And he almost found Siggins in the middle. What can he do here?
Very, very tough kick, this one. We've seen kicks struggling to make the distance from 50 here. Add in the angle. Might be a little square it up to the top of the goal square type operation. Just what he does. Siggins was there, but the fist came and through they went. Geez, I love that volleyball spike from Zach Adams. It's earlier.
Got more distance on that than some of the kicks down this end of the ground, didn't he?
Tremendous purchase. As Reardon chips it in short. He finds Eddie Cole. Eddie Cole will send them wide where there's a contest developing, and why not head the way of Jordan Lane? He just pushes aside Dylan Fife. He's loving life out there. Jordan Lane, he's having a fine day. He snaffles another one. Couldn't quite find Tyler Carter. He's kicked down the line. They get some territory. 10 goals ahead. 18-minute mark of quarter number 3. With the way Jordan Lane's travelling, you'd have a smile on your face, I reckon, Dooley.
Yeah, and I'm sure plenty of the Tigers are smiling out there as well at the moment. They're certainly having a good time. It's all going their way at the moment. Lane in the ruck now. Lauderdale get the tap down. Trying to work it clear here. Fife gets the handball over nicely to Marlin, who takes off down the wing. He's kicked further down the line. Almost reeled in going back with the flight there. But it trickles out of bounds and we'll have another stoppage. Made some territory there, the Bombers, but they're still just struggling to find clear targets. The Tigers doing a nice job of covering all options further afield.
They're doing a better job kicking into the wind this quarter than they did in quarter number 1, but still, it is the Tigers in control here as Jack Tompkinson launches this one forward. Couldn't quite be marked by Dygan, but they'll go deep inside 50 once again. Tyler Carter out the back. Had the mismatch, and Tyler Carter wheels off away from Kingston and drives through their 15th of the afternoon. It's 15-9-99 to 4-9-33. And it is looking fairly emphatic here at the Twin Oaks.
And that was just textbook from Tyler Carter, wasn't it? Used the body really well to get out the back and then just snuck away when no one was looking and put through a nice easy one. So he's kicked a couple today. Not been his biggest game, but he's certainly done his job, as have all the Tigers forwards, really. Fairly even spread across the board. I'd have to be happy with that.
Yeah, good day to be a forward in this Tigers lineup. The supply has been pretty favourable and has come in at a fair rate of knots pretty frequently.
Yeah, the way they've been going, there'll be plenty more chances before the end of the game. Not wasting any time getting forward as the ball's up in the middle. Delicate tap from Tompkinson, but he can't quite find Lovell. We've got a free kick here going the Bombers' way. So they'll have a chance to send the ball forward through McGuinness. Managed to get himself involved since moving into the middle. What can he do here? Sends it long inside 50. Reardon has the best sit there. Always looked likely to take the mark, and he does so. He's been good in the back line, cleaning up on the occasions he's been called on, Reardon, and his distribution's been pretty good as he sends that one back into the centre square. Lauderdale have the numbers around the contest, but that's a good tackle laid by Cole. Bombers still come away with it. Send it forward. Reardon almost gets onto that one, but it drifts over his head. It's cleared out eventually by Ben Donnelly. And that one, maybe with a bit of good fortune, falls into the lap of Golding, who takes off, sends it out onto the wing. Dygan and Williams in the one-on-one. And they play out a draw there as the ball just rolls over the line for a boundary throwing.
So pretty one-sided results around the TSL here this afternoon. The Northern Bombers dismantling Glenorchy to the tune of 127 points and triple digits at Windsor Park as well. Launceston well ahead of North Hobart. So a day of fairly one-sided games. Two of them don't surprise me a whole lot. This one does though. I thought this was going to be a real arm wrestle this afternoon. Been very impressive from these Tigers. 64 points ahead as they go inside 50 once more. Carter the target. Battling away there with Steinbauer. They'll play for a throw in. It's been a great performance from these Tigers. Just kept going at it. 6 goals in the first, 4 in quarter number 2, and 4 again here in quarter number 3. It's just been a steady flow all afternoon as Leonard Marlin trying to take it away from the contest. Left the ball behind. Tackle laid by Richmond. Able to halt the progress there. Salter. There we go again. Tompkinson won it down. Wheeling through the contest was Franklin. Got boot to ball. Worked it towards Christensen. Some nice work from Lockie Griggs charging through for the Tigers though. Has to be strong under pressure here. They're able to shield the ball and work it back to go forwards. Then they swing it towards half forward. Tompkinson was there, but a good mark taken. A contested mark from Sutton back there. Did quite nicely, or Blackburn rather, who plays a little 1-2. That didn't work out so well. They've turned it over to a dangerous area. Might be made to be pay here. Tyler Carter, oh, the don't argue from Tyler Carter if you don't mind. Sends it towards the teeth of goal, but it's offline. And a minor score only.
I think Carter might have had a short option there, but once you lay the don't argue like that, you have to go for the highlight play, don't you? You can't turn down the shot at goal.
That's what the rules say, Doy.
As the Bombers work their way out of defence here, finding targets. Hooker gets the ball just behind the wing. Hands it off wide. Fife sends it further afield. Methodical here, the Bombers, but they can't quite find the mark in the forward third again. Keep on scrapping and win the ball back eventually. That kick squeezes inside 50. It spills out the back. Tigers clear the lines once again. High up and under, and that's a good mark taken there under pressure by Zach Adams. He kicks in board, finds Lovell. He's got a man on the lead here. It's Jordan Lane again. Spills out there. He puts the pressure on in the follow-up. The Bombers competing well at ground level here. Managed to get things clear again. Reardon, oh, good sit there. I think he might have given away the free kick, but you'd back Elijah Reardon in 9 times out of 10 to get the sit and take the mark there.
Yeah, I mean, for Reardon, it probably is realistic he could haul it in, but definitely infringed in the contest there. Didn't get near the ball.
Worth a go, though.
He's an entertainer, Elijah Reardon. That's right. I love watching him play. Just makes things happen. Makes the remarkable happen fairly frequently as this one pitched just ahead of Kenny. He's able to gather and send it deep inside 50. Mark not completed by Blackburn though, and the Tigers will sweep it out the back through Brewer. We got it across to Griggs, who clears the area. Griggs with a searching kick to Dygan on the wing, who can wheel and go here. He sends them to half forward, had a free man. This is some nice ball movement from the Tigers here. Luke Graham sends them deep inside 50, and the mark almost taken from Tompkinson, spilt it at the last moment. Danger not past Gossetti, Coles there, but I think Tompkinson has given away a free kick at ground level.
Did all the hard work there, Tompkinson, didn't he? Just couldn't quite make it stick at the last moment. Oh, that's another great sit there. Almost
Graham.
a mark of the year contender from Luke Graham. He still wins the ball back for his team in the contest as that one's sent towards goal, just wide of the post. That would have been a remarkable mark from Luke Graham there. We're starting to see the party tricks come out for the Tigers here.
Yeah, great climb. He leapt at the ball, timed it beautifully, just couldn't quite complete the transaction in the end. But a fantastic ride. This one's chipped short, 65 points to the margin late in quarter number 3. That did McGuinness no favours whatsoever. He's got to play on here. He does so, wheels and sends it out towards Sutton on the wing, sliding in and taking the mark is Reece Sutton. He's kept working hard. He looks inside and just turns it straight over to Julian Parker. I think he wanted Christensen. Wasn't a good kick at all though. And they might make them pay here. Kieran Lovell, he's kicked to Kieran Lovell. He sells some candy. He sets sail for home from 45 for goal number 3. It drifted across the face and Poland takes the relieving mark. Fergus Kenny now bouncing off half back. Sends them to the wing. And we found Bryce Walsh, who turns back onto his right. That ball was touched, so it'll be play on here for Donnelly. Perhaps not. Continues across and finds Lockie Griggs. Griggs sends it further to Brower. Their foot skills have been really impressive today. There's a good defensive spoil is made and spills out a play for a throw in deep in red time in quarter number 3.
Yeah, not long left here in the third term. Got time, maybe one more goal though. The Bombers would love to just try and work their way back to a respectable margin by the end of the game. A goal here might go a long way to shifting a bit of momentum. The ball comes in from the boundary umpire, who'll win it down. Siggins in the ruck gets the tap, but it spills to Lovell, who bursts away from the pack, chips it down the wing, finds Cole. He gives another don't argue and then heads inside 50. Tompkinson coming out in the lead, can't quite collect at his feet. And the Bombers will clear here through Fergus Kenny. Plays on, moves it on quickly, finds Christensen with the hands, and he gives it out wide further. That's a lovely kick there. They're starting to hit some targets here, the Bombers. Can they continue that inside 50? Yes, they can. Blackburn takes the mark, looks to go quickly, chips it further inside, can't find a target. Tigers scrambling in defence still. College hands it off. Adams, nice little tidy kick to Reardon just outside the defensive 50. He'll send it down the wing. One-on-one contest, and that's nicely done there from our man number 54. Kicks in board, finds Kieran Lovell wide open. He's got an acre of space here. Strolls in, kicks the goal, easy as you like. That's another one for Kieran Lovell, and the Bombers the Tigers continue to pull away.
Yeah, it's a lovely ball movement from deep in defence into the forward line without the opposition touching it. Just great foot skills. Open it up and Kieran Lovell able to put the cherry on top and grab a third goal. He's had a really good afternoon today, Kieran Lovell, and he gets some more scoreboard reward. 71 points. Look, they've toiled hard here, the Bombers. They've been better in quarter number 2 and 3, but the Tigers have just been too strong, and probably evidenced by that passage of play there that the Bombers were really good along the wing, got it inside 50, couldn't find a mark in there. The last kick just let them down. The Tigers, in the blink of an eye, bang, it's at the other end of the field. It's a goal. They've just moved the ball. It's such speed all day, and the Bombers have not been able to deal with it.
No, and that is the difference between the two teams. That's the one that stands out, isn't it? Lauderdale taking their time but not quite finding the targets at the end of it, whereas the Tigers are just pumping the ball inside 50 and making things happen as Christensen wins it out of the middle here, hands it off to Magro, hits big up and under, right deep inside 50. We've got a whistle here. Is that a downfield free kick, I think? Maybe a hit after the kick from Magro. Whatever it is, it looks like the Bombers will walk the ball into the goal square. There's a little bit of confusion here about what's been awarded.
It's going up the other end of the field.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it's Kieran Lovell who's taking the ball. Well, tough to know from our position, Dooley. And he's going to go, it's going to be Eddie Cole. The other end of the ground. So I don't know if that was an original decision, if it was retaliation. I'm guessing from the position it must have been a free kick and then a 50-metre penalty, but perhaps the team's not sure which way it was going.
That's certainly a big turnaround from what it looked like being in the goal square at the other end. Now Cole has the chance from directly in front to further add to Kingborough's lead. Starts at left, but that works back nicely. Goal umpire does not have to move, and that's a goal for Eddie Cole. Tigers continuing to build on their lead. 17-10, 1-12 to Lauderdale's 4-11-35. Kingborough's midfield is having a big impact on the scoreboard today.
Yeah, another one there, although that one a bit of a gift, and discipline has been pretty poor from the Bombers too. There's been a couple of times today where they're just giving away silly free kicks or unnecessary 50s, and when things are going against you, you really can't afford that. Just compounds things. And they've kicked 7 goals in this quarter now, the Tigers. It's been their best return of any of the 3, so despite a good start from the Bombers and the fact they've shown more in an attacking sense, it has left them more exposed behind, and 7 goals for the term now for the Tigers. It's Clifford, Elijah Reardon, tumbles one to half forward. Can they add an 8th before the break perhaps? Fergus Kenny throwing himself at it. Lovell wants it, instead they go to Adams. Adams just chips it into the pocket. And there's Tyler Carter, and an opportunity for that 8th.
Carter just finding a lot of space in that pocket, isn't he? Just those leading options are really giving Kingborough an outlet that the Bombers just don't seem to have.
Well, we've ticked by 31 minutes. It's been a very long quarter. There have been a lot of goals and plenty of stoppages, a lot of argy-bargy. But Tyler Carter, can he extend their lead further here to 83 points with his left foot? He guides it. It looks pretty good off the boot. Tyler Carter adds another. They've kicked 8 goals in quarter number 3. And after kicking 6 in the first, 4 in the second, they're getting better. And the pretty dark old day for the Bombers is getting even darker for them. 83 points in the margin. And they will have a wind advantage in the final term, but if they're not careful, this could be triple digits very, very shortly.
Especially with the way the Tigers have been clinical finishing inside 50, haven't they? That's another one that it's not a regulation chance from out on the bound or towards the boundary, but Carter just made it look easy, and they continue to pull goals out even when they're not in the best position, and if that keeps going, the win might not make a difference in the fourth. The ball's up again in the middle. Stolen out of the air there by Siggins. His kick falls just short of the 50, but Bombers look to win it out of the contest here. Bit of a scrum on the half-forward line. No one able to break clear. Handball eventually comes out from Walsh. Finds McGuinness. It's pumped inside 50. Can they find a mark here late? Ball spills to the ground. It's collected at the back there. And that's a tidy finish and goal for the Bombers from Ed Stanley. He's kicked his second for the day.
Yeah, the milestone man gets his second of the afternoon. Probably not a milestone he's going to look back upon overly fondly, given the way the day has panned out. But tough day for small to medium forwards, given the way it's panned out. And he's kicked 2 goals, so he's done his job here. But just hasn't had the supply. And conversely, at the other end, it's just been coming in all too often. Tough day for small forwards, really.
Yeah, he hasn't really been given much of a chance with the way the ball's been coming in, but credit to him, he's made the most of his chances when he's had them. He's kicked a couple of goals, and maybe hoping to maybe sneak in for 1 or 2 more before the end of the game. This ball goes up again in the middle. Tompkinson wins it down. Gets the kick away, but that is the siren for 3/4 time. It's the Tigers continuing to build on their lead with another big quarter, and plenty of work left to do for Lauderdale if they want to get this back to a respectable margin.
Yeah, 8 goals 3 to 3 goals 3. No shortage of scoring. Bombers kicked the first 2 of the term and were making some inroads, but when the pattern of the game that had been established was restored, the Tigers started to control it around the stoppages, get the ball in quickly, give those forwards those good looks. And the Bombers, despite pulling one back late, 77 points in arrears. They have been belted today, and really it's just going to be about probably trying to avoid a triple-digit dumping in quarter number 4. They'll have the wind at their backs. It should make it a little easier for them, but they've just been beaten up this afternoon. The Tigers have been far too good for them.
Yeah, and it's been relentless from the Tigers, really. There's not been much let up, and even when the Bombers have managed to steady a little bit, they still haven't really been able to make any meaningful impact on the scoreboard. So it's been all Kingborough, and we'll have to wait and see if that continues into the 4th.
We'll be back with that in around about 5 minutes' time for you. It's the Tigers in complete control at the Twin Ovals. All right, we're back for the final term here at the Twin Ovals. The Tigers taking on the Bombers in what was expected to be a really close game. It's been anything but. The Tigers have been ruthless. They've been dominant from start to the end of the third quarter. We'll see if they can carry that through the last. The result not in doubt. It's just whether the Bombers can avoid the indignity of a triple-digit result at this point, I would have thought, Dooley.
Yeah, and they wouldn't want to drop too much percentage off this early in the season. After a couple of close losses, a blowout here could really put a dent in things. So we'll see what they can do in the last quarter here. Ball's up and it's snatched out of the air from Siggins. He sends it towards half forward. Christensen just paddles it over his head. Ball's locked up just on Lauderdale's 50-metre arc there. Siggins starting to make some things happen around the middle of the ground. We'll see if he can do anything at the stoppage here. Outsized by Tompkinson, but he again just drags it down out of mid-air and sends a high ball into the forward pocket. Good fist away there. That one is just going to trickle out of bounds. Good start around the stoppages for the Bombers. Thought he did well to clear the area there when the ball was in dispute. See if Siggins can make it a hat-trick of clearances on his own here playing in the ruck. He won't because he's not lining up in the ruck, but Tompkinson, regardless, gets the tap down. Lovell almost picks it up. He gets it away in the end, finds Cole with the hands. His handball's just over the head of Reardon, but it bounces back to Cole and he goes again. Tigers moving the ball quickly across their defence here and now sending it down the wing. They've got a 2-on-1. Numbers come around the ball now. Tackle laid by Sutton and we'll have another stoppage out on the wing.
Yeah, pretty well done there by Poland in the 2-on-1. Just fight out a draw, get the stoppage. 2 goals 8 to this end. In quarter number 2, the Bombers they want to be a little bit more accurate in this quarter. Cut that final margin as they go deep inside 50 here. Punched away. Richmond in there. Turning with it. Handball off to Christensen. Squares it up towards Magro. Dylan Fife. Shimmies. Hits himself, props, and then chips one in short. It's a good kick to Franklin. He's kicked straight into the man on the mark. Followed it up, handballed it over the top. Trying to skip through here is Fletcher Hooker. Gave it to Lennon Marlin. Fife. They're trying to find space. Eventually they do get space for the shot. It's a poor one though from Franklin. Doesn't get much purchase on it. And off hands, it might fall out the back. Fortunately for Blackburn though, he gave it to Magro. Magro puts it on the boot. Oh, it was hard work, but they get there. They get the goal and they pull it back to 71 points. First blood in the final term. To the Bombers. Gee, they had to work hard for it though, Dooley.
Yeah, they were stuck on that half-forward line for a long time there, but they stayed patient, just kept flicking it around, and eventually it was just the high up and under kick to the goal line, and eventually spilled out the back, and Magro is the beneficiary. So we said he'd been fairly quiet through 3 quarters. Can he just get something going for himself and for his team in the fourth here?
Yeah, I mean, it's been, as I said when we were talking about Stanley earlier, tough day for forwards in this Lauderdale side, but they've put him up around the ball a couple of times and hasn't been able to have much influence. We know what a game breaker Jaden Magro can be, but probably one of his quieter games since coming to the competition, this one. We know what quality he does possess. So this one will be Marlin charging out of the middle, carrying it away, and as he found a target, he hasn't. It is that man Magro, so he is sparking to life here. And they were 2 of the real key movers in that win over Launceston. It was Jaden Magro making things happen. It was Lennon Marlin absolutely dominating around clearances. Has not been the case today, but when they do get the ball from the middle with that kind of speed, they've got weapons like Magro who can benefit.
And that's probably the best clearance we've seen from the Bombers today. They've struggled to win the ball in the middle, but that was just a bit of clean air for Marlin out of the pack, and found Magro here. We'll see if he can convert for his second in the space of a minute.
Jaden Magro never looked like it. In fact, he won't even trouble the scorers. That is a snap hook and out of bounds on the full.
Tried to kick that one a little bit too hard, I think, which again maybe suggests that the winds died off a little bit. The Tigers were really catching the breeze at this end early in the game, but had to put a lot behind that to get the carry. Tigers will work their way out of defence now, back onto the wing. Big pack forms. Tompkinson in from the side, plenty of Bombers around it. They eventually see it over the line for another boundary throw-in. Fairly good start to the quarter here for the Bombers. Starting to knuckle down around the contest. It's obviously coming too late to challenge for the win, but they want to try and get something positive out of this last quarter as the ball comes in again. Siggins and Tompkinson play out a draw in the ruck. It spills to the Tigers' way. Great tackle laid there by Nat Franklin. Godomski looked like he might spring clear, and Franklin just ripped him down to force another stoppage here. Siggins working hard in the ruck. He again takes it down out of the air. Christensen gets the kick away. That one's going to be intercepted by College. Tigers have done a good job on that half-back line all throughout the day.
Siggins drifts in and takes a strong mark on the wing. Gives the quick handball. Hooker nearly left it behind, eventually controls and sends them inside 50. Can he find a marking target? Been taken by Parker, wasn't. They clear the area. Tompkinson the target here. Spoiling from behind was Siggins. Handball from Walsh. Found McGuinness. McGuinness skips into space. Can he bend it back? He can't quite. Get it enough. The wind takes a hold of it and floats through for a minor score. So having the better of the last term but, with the wind, and you suspect maybe there's an element of Q in the rack from the Tigers as well at this point. But, we'll see how they keep going in the last term. But certainly a big opportunity for a fairly hefty percentage gain here over a side who should be in the finals mix, we expect.
Yeah, not a game where we expected percentage to be one of the big talking points in the fourth quarter, is it? But Tigers have been really impressive and built themselves a big lead here. That one, though, drifts out of bounds on the full. Fife has a chance to send it forward again. He just chips it in short. Quick hands to Siggins. He goes long now towards the top of the goal square. Good contest there. Reardon comes away with the loose ball at the back. Godomski clears the area, and that's a good kick, finding Gardner on the wing. Able to hit targets nicely coming out of defence, the Tigers. Donnelly now has it just on the defensive arc. Takes his time. Sends it back towards the wing. A little push in the back there for the Tigers. Looks like they got away with that one. Poland cleans up at the back of the pack. Gets the handball away, and that's a good tackle laid there from George O'Neill. Forces the ball out of bounds towards the half-forward line for the Tigers.
Siggins and Gardner in the ruck. Siggins wins it down. Marlin drifting through, just shrugs off a tackle, and then handball just behind Sutton though. At the Tigers in. Marlin followed up well. On at ground level out to McGuinness. He flicks it across to Siggins, who gets coat-hanged by Kieran Lovell. And a free kick blown to the Bombers' big man, who wheels and goes and sends them into the pocket. He can't quite find a marking target. Presenting up, and it was Blackburn. Christensen was in there. Sorty brought to ground in a strong Christensen tackle. And we'll have a stoppage inside 50. And Christensen's defensive work's been pretty good, and the pressure he's applied today hasn't been able to have a huge impact with ball in hand, however, as he's taken out of it by Godomski there, and it drifts across the line for another throw-in. 8 minutes played in the final term here. Just a little bit of cramp there for Christensen too, as 70 points the advantage to the Tigers. It's been quite the statement from the side. They'll move back into second place off the back of this. Trying to make it work with Tilly, but just charging up at the ball. The Tigers will carry it to half forward. Dygan the target. Just bounced off his feet in the end. And try and get it clear. Cole handball backwards. Straight to Poland. Now Marlin just dropped it on the boot. Want something further afield. Did pretty well in the end just to chip it out to Sutton.
Looked like a nervous moment for Marlin there, but he did well as Lovell takes a strong intercept mark. A very good day, Kieran Lovell. Kicks down the line there. Good spoil from the Bombers. Tigers just scramble it forward off the ground. It eventually falls to Kingston. He's brought down in a very strong tackle there. O'Neill putting on some good defensive pressure here late in the game. There'll be another ball up here, just on the half-forward line for the Tigers. Gardner uses his body well and wins the tap down. Tigers get the clearance. Send it to the edge of the attacking 50, and there's plenty of players in space there, and it's O'Neill taking the mark. He spots a man on the lead, hits him up beautifully on the chest. And the Tigers will have another kick for goal here, look to extend that lead further.
Yeah, mystery number 54 again. I'm guessing Edward Golding, purely because I haven't called him at any other point today, and he's the only number missed out, but we were told he was 28. No 54 in the emergencies. We've been stitched here, Norley. I'm not having it.
Edward Golding gets the credit either way, or I guess the blame if this kick doesn't go through, so we'll see how he goes.
Good looking kick.
Short and rushed over the line. Not a bad effort from out there against the wind.
Yeah, absolutely. Bent it back on the breeze. Beautiful. Minor score only, but it's the tougher end of kick to today. Hooker carries them out of defence. That one floats up towards the wing. Kieran Lovell's been really good today. One of his better games for the season, I reckon, as the Tigers will go inside 50 once more. Kick not really to the advantage of O'Neill. Allowed Hooker to spoil from behind, but spoiled it down straight to a Tigers player. Now it's Clifford into space. Clifford sets sail for home. Always offline and drifts across for a minor score only. There's the margin, an even 12 goals.
Tigers have managed to lock the ball in their forward half again here. Lauderdale starting to gain a bit of ascendancy around the clearance, the stoppages, winning some clearances, but can they just break the lines here? Poland sends it long. Bounces awkwardly, but it falls to Siggins out the back if it'll sit for him. He collects well. Sends him inside 50. One-on-one contest, no mark. Well won at ground level there by Donnelly. He breaks away and hits up Gardner again on that far wing. Handy target for the Tigers to have coming out of defence, Gardner. He's done well here in the fourth. Now he just waits for an option to present itself. Kicks that one high down the line. A few flyers, but it ends up falling to Clifford at ground level. He finds Cole with his hands. Cole evades a pair of tacklers nicely. Kicks in board. Loose ball fell to Golding. He gives it off to Graham. And finds a target in the middle. Tigers moving the ball really well again here. And that kick is perfectly to the lead of Tompkinson.
Yeah, we've seen it's been tough kicking from this range for the forwards today. Does the big man have the legs at this late stage of the afternoon?
He's not even going to try. He hands it off quickly there. Brewer lines it up. It falls short. But there's that man again, Jordan Lane, with a good set of hands on the goal line. He'll have a shot from the boundary now.
He's been really impressive, Lane. Another good strong mark, and you'll imagine look for the snap here to have yet another goal.
Stutter step around the corner there. He wasn't sure if he was ready to go, but he slots the goal regardless. It's another nice finish from Jordan Lane, and he's having himself a very good game here as the Tigers kick away again. 19-12, 126 to 6-12, 48.
Yeah, 13 goals, 78 points the difference. Fairly emphatic stuff indeed, and once again they're winning the quarter, kicking to the tougher end, but saw the big fella didn't want to have the shy from 50, just gave the handoff and it still fell short, so you can tell the wind is still blowing there. Still a definite advantage, but the Tigers just far too good.
Yeah, I think that just tells you how dominant they've been, doesn't it? The fact that they've not only won the quarters with the wind in their favour, but as you said, they continue to pull away even when they're kicking into the breeze.
Very impressive display from the Tigers, throwing down their credentials here this afternoon against, you'd have to say, a Lauderdale side that's a bit of an enigma at the moment. Their best is very good, but there's just parts of their game where they certainly don't look amongst genuine contenders, and it's hard to believe that this is the side that beat Launceston 2 or 3 weeks ago now.
That result was surprising at the time, and it's only getting more surprising as we go on here.
Perhaps bodes well for the Tigers' chances in September this year, though, as the handball over the top from Sutton releases McGuinness. McGuinness across to Walsh in space. He chips it into the pocket, and he finds Jaden Magro. Wasn't 15, told to play on. Slung as he kicked, into the pocket it goes. The ground level, Gardner doing well, just released it in time. Handball from Ed Stanley, finds Siggins, and Siggins gets the goal. And he pulls it back to 72 points. Once again, it's certainly a lot harder work for one team to find these goals than the others. But Siggins has battled hard all day and gets a deserved major there.
Yeah, he's done well late here, Siggins. I think since being thrown into the ruck, he's managed to give his side a little bit of drive out of the middle, and that's deserved reward with a goal there. But as you say, they really had to put on a lot of pressure to even generate a chance there.
Certainly a lot harder for one team to score than the other. So 72 points the margin here as news coming through from Windsor Park. A 10-goal haul for Ryan Tyrrell, if you don't mind, in that one.
Handy day out for him.
Not a bad day at the office.
We're back in action here at the Twin Ovals. Siggins again competing well in the ruck. Win the clearance again, the Bombers. There's Fife. It's a nice little ball wide there. Switching the play. Hitting a target again. They're starting to find their kicking boots here as Franklin gives the handball out to Marlon. Marlon drives him inside 50. Good lead there from Smith, but it's the Tigers again. Just working their way out of the back line. That kick just off the mark, but they've got time and space to work with here. Kicking board again, looking for Gardner, but that one just drifts over his head. Intercepted well. Bombers are finding some repeat entries here. Big spoil from Reardon there. He's patrolled the back line well, and he just clears the danger there and gets it out of bounds for another throw-in.
Just doesn't seem to lose contest, does he, Elijah Reardon? Very good footballer. Just a good blend of the discipline, stuff like that, and the spectacular and flair that he brings as well. Very complete defensive player. And Smith back in the ruck here. Wins it down into the pocket. First to it, Eddie Cole. He's got a little bit of room to manoeuvre, and he puts it on the boot. An ugly-looking kick, though. Franklin was drifting across. Couldn't quite get it. Lovell, clever initial handball, but Magro came in, drove with the head. Play continues. Williams shifts it out. An opportunity now for Bryce Walsh. And Bryce Walsh pulls one back there for the Bombers. Their 8th of the afternoon. They move to 8-12-60. Still well adrift of the Tigers. 19-12, 126.
It's certainly been an improved effort here from the Bombers. Too little too late, but they're starting to find a little bit of space inside 50. A little chain of handballs there, finding Walsh, and he had time to really set himself and kick the goal. We saw a lot early, particularly with Sam Siggins. There were a lot of rush chances. So that bit of time inside 50 is what they've been lacking, and they're starting to find it a little bit here late.
Yeah, 3-1 in the quarter, so, you know, something to cling to, and a pretty rough old day for them.
They needed to win somewhere, didn't they? So if they can hold on to a win in this fourth quarter, I think they'll take that moving forward and try to make something of it. As the ball's back up, Siggins flies high and just reels it in with one hand. Really nicely done there, and it gives the Bombers the clearance out of the middle. Sutton wanders down towards 50, crosses the line and sends it goalward. It's a pretty good kick there. Reardon gets the sit over the top of the forward and just palms that one over the line. There's not many spectacular rush behinds in football, but that was pretty impressive there.
It was absolutely incredible. Just rose up on the back to deny what would have been one of the more aesthetically pleasing goals you'll ever see after that ruck work from Siggins. Just got out to Sutton in space. Spectacular little passage of play, that one.
You might have to, I know we've got the mark of the month, might have to have the rush behind of the month too if Reardon's going to keep pulling out moves like that.
Yeah, that was up there. Shades of was it Heath Chapman with that goal line save for Fremantle early in the year. Just tremendous leap from him. Not quite the similar game script here, mind you, as this one's sent in deep inside 50. The Bombers continue to push and find some consolation goals here. Picking it up and under pressure immediately was Griggs. Reardon trying to gather. It was taken away from him, though, by Hooker. Now the handball came out to Walsh. Oh, following up and smothering. There was Elijah Reardon. Superb work rate from him. And they halve the contest in the end, although it's going to be holding the ball paid, I think, against Julian Parker. The umpire suggesting he showed no intent to get rid of it. Big Josh McGuinness parked on top of him. Pretty tough to do so, but got to at least fake an attempt, I suppose.
Yeah, it's all about that performance you put on, isn't it, more than anything in a situation like that. But McGuinness will take that, and he'll have a chance. Tough kick from the boundary here, but wouldn't put it past him.
He's a wonderful player, Josh McGuinness. Can he find a late marker here? He can't. It always hung out to the right. For a minor score as they just about halve them. 7 to 18, now 19 minutes tick by in this final term. It's been pretty emphatic stuff from the Tigers this afternoon. A great performance, and you can see from Reardon there, the work rate still frenetic in defence.
Yeah, they certainly haven't taken the foot off the pedal, have they? Still bringing a lot of pressure in the back line here. So they look to bring it out slowly. Ball makes its way back to the wing. Tompkinson in a sea of red and black there, but it just opened up for him in front. The Tigers will take off once again. He's doing well in the stoppage there. Smith gets the hands out. Another kick just to the edge of the 50. A good sit at the back there from Blackburn, but he was beaten to it by his teammate, and it spills to Reardon ultimately. His nice kick out to O'Neill. Gardner on the lead. He kicks it there, and Gardner will mark just outside 50. Moves it on quickly again. Dygan is in space inside the pocket. And that's just been the story of the day, hasn't it? The quick transition from the Tigers, opening up avenues to goal.
Yeah, their foot skills have been really good. Normally sacrifice a bit of that to go at the speed they have, but they've been really clean all day, and it's just led to repeat good looks for their forwards.
Dygan has a chance to add another one here late. Just pushes it right across the goal. Doesn't even go out on the full in the end. That's a mark taken there by Poland. They look to drive it forward again for the Bombers.
Maybe the wind dying there. I think he allowed for it. It just never drifted back. All day it's been blowing to that corner.
Yeah, really hung it out there and just didn't quite get the response that he was hoping for in the air.
Well, that's been my golfing game off the tee, DALY. Just massive draw, massive draw, massive draw. Allow for the draw. Yeah, nah, dead straight into the trees.
And as Dygan will there as well, I'm sure you blame the wind for that too.
It reaches a point where you can't point to the wind. DALY. Reach for the 4-iron instead. This one's won again by the Tigers. Inside 50 they go. The mark almost taken by O'Neill. Followed up his efforts and ended up shrugging free. Got it to Clifford. His handball across to Dygan from the angle. Squares it up, and our mystery man's got it again. We think it's Edward Golding. Apologies if it's not. But big number 54. He has been left off the team list, but he has certainly made his mark and will be on the goal scorers list. This would be number 3, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so. He's had himself a very good day. I think he'd be kicking 3 here, and he's set up at least 1 more. So this one looks fairly regulation. Strolls in, puts it through, and that is the 20th goal of the day for the Tigers. So they push their lead back out to 70 points. They just keep on pushing here, don't they?
Yeah, it's been really impressive. They've not let up. They've kept working here in the final term. They get another goal to show for it. A couple in the last. They've just been outscored, but only just. It's been a pretty significant wind advantage to the far end of your screen all afternoon. So they've done pretty well. Keep fighting on and hit the scoreboard even when attacking this near end. It's been a great performance from them all afternoon. Great work rate. Fantastic in the trenches. And their forwards have just had a field day. They have just eaten this Lauderdale defence alive, really, as Leonard Marlin gets another clearance. He sends them deep inside 50. Punched away there by Brewer. And they'll get the clearing kick, but straight to Leonard Marlin, who's followed up, and he immediately points and says, I'll have a shot.
No hesitation there, was there? He knows what he wants to do here, and he's started to get involved a bit in the 4th quarter, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been one of their better players. There haven't been a lot of winners across the ground today, Leonard Marlin. And on a day where there's not been a whole lot to take away, I think he's relishing the opportunity to try and get a goal there. Distance shouldn't be a problem. Accuracy is. Off line for a minor score. Not being a nice result, this one for the Tigers. 69-point lead here laid on as Reardon will take it back into play. Domsky. Target Tompkinson in the end, takes the mark and then tells Big Aidan Smith all about it. There's been a bit between Smith and his opponents here this afternoon. Plenty of feeling out there, that's for sure. The Tigers on the attack again. They'll go into the forward pocket, searching for Carter. Protected the space expertly. Knew he had the strength advantage on young Bodie Kingston. Protected the drop zone, then takes the mark expertly.
What he did differently to Marlon there to endear him to the coaches was he at least pretended like he wanted to give it off. Okay, I've spoken too soon. He has given it off, and that's a lovely little kick into Max College there. I was just about to say that I don't think Tyler Carter would be dishing off too many like that, but he's done very nicely there.
Well, there's a tough kick into the wind, so I can see why he's done that, but with a 69-point lead deep into red time, most big forwards will be relishing the opportunity, so really great signs there about the team mentality of this Tigers outfit. That is dead eye straight. Another one for the Tigers. They're flying. Max College gets in on the act. 21-12, 138. The Bombers 8-15, 63, 75 points. And even Max College is bobbing up in attack and getting in on the show now.
They just keep on extending that spread of goal kickers, don't they? There's not too many times you see teams kick 21 without a big bag of goals in there somewhere, but it's been a really nice, even performance from the Tigers across the board.
Yeah, it certainly has. 75 points in the margin now. It's been really, really impressive the way they've kept going into this final term. And they've extended the lead now in this final term, I think. They might have just won it by a point, the Bombers, but given the wind advantage, it's pretty much a victory. Here's McGuinness on the boot. Inside 50 go the Bombers once more. Moving one way then the other, and then they clear the area out towards the wing. You've open field there. Leading the race is Kenny. He flicks it out to Smith, the big fella. Drives the Bombers inside 50, looking for Magro, and he found him. Just got rid of Parker. And a chance for Jaden Magro to bag a consolation goal here late on.
He's looked dangerous in the fourth quarter, Magro, starting to find a little bit of space off his man in those contests, and maybe that speaks to the fact that Lauderdale needed to just get the ball in quickly at times today, because a player like Magro can make things happen if you just get it in the vicinity.
He certainly can. He is a lively type. He's Jaden Magro. Can he find his size 9th of the afternoon here? He goes back. He missed one earlier. He's learned from that one though. Got that dead on. Splits the middle, and they do get their 9th. They move to 9-15, 69. But doubling their score are the Tigers, 21-12, 138, deep into the final quarter here in the final game of the afternoon. Still in action in the TSL.
Yeah, lovely kick from Magro there. Lauderdale starting to find their kicking boots the way the Tigers had them to that far end earlier in the game, but it's well and truly too little too late. Hoping to grab one or two more goals late here just to bring that margin back a bit. Certainly improved throughout the day, but the Tigers have just continued to pull away regardless. Been really impressive here across the board. So the ball's up in the middle again. Smith gets the tap down. Ball comes clear to Marlon. He storms forward again. A bit of confusion there. Not sure what happened. He looked like he stopped for a free kick before he kept going, but either way, the Tigers win the ball back, but it's quickly turned over once again. That is an exceptionally sloppy passage of play from both sides there, but it'll end with the Tigers looking to bring the ball back out of defence.
Yeah, Josh McGuinness, player doesn't make errors like that too often, and that probably tells the story of the day for the Bombers. It's been a bit of a mess, really. It has all been the Tigers, as Marlon has certainly got busy late on here. He's fought on as he got some little treatment late there from Tompkinson, and Hayden Smith not standing for it. Getting right up there and doing his absolute best to not get a reversal here by raising an arm high and just kind of chesting him there was Big Smithy.
There's been a lot of that today, hasn't there? Particularly from those two players, but in the end...
I want to belt you, but I don't want to risk giving away a free kick. Seemed to be the mentality there.
Yeah, even at this point of the game, they still don't want to give anything away easy, do they? So, in the end, it'll be a shot for goal for the Bombers.
Him and Marlon to take, so he can cut it back to 63 points, and he duly does. So, a couple of late consolation goals here for Lauderdale, but there has been plenty of feeling in this one. There have been spot fires breaking out all over the ground all afternoon, really. I get the sense that these two sides really don't like each other a whole lot.
Yeah, it was a little surprising that physicality really kicked off after half-time when the Tigers had essentially put the game to bed already. So whether that was a little bit of gamesmanship from the Bombers trying to get something to flip the switch for them, but it certainly kicked on even late here with the margin ballooned out.
63 points it now stands at. The final siren can't be too far away. Those have flowed, but the result has been well and truly wrapped up since half-time, really. As you mentioned, Dooley is scrapped for it in the middle once more. Clifford's handball was smothered there by Marlon. Tumbling kick in the direction of Graham. Couldn't quite gather it. It was put off there by Kenny. Graham goes back and collects it. Handball to Clifford, to Gardner. He'll send them inside 50. And good mark taken back with the flight there by George O'Neill. Wouldn't have known what was behind him. Always tough ones, those, going back as it just sits in the air. But kept his composure, and a shot for goal for George O'Neill.
Tigers once again just kicking the ball to a dangerous area, and they keep on being the ones to find the space. That's the final siren. O'Neill will have the kick after the siren here to just push the margin out a little further.
So 63 points. Can O'Neill go back and end the day on a high and make it a 69-point win for the Tigers? He'll set sail for around about 45. He's floating. It won't have the journey all day. It's been tough kicking to that end. The Tigers have done a fantastic job to kick several goals at that end. The Bombers really struggled when they attacked it. And when they had the wind at their backs in quarters number 1 and 3, they were absolutely dominant here today, the Tigers. And as a result, they walk away pretty emphatic 63-point victors.
As we spoke about earlier, a disappointing finish to the game last week for the Tigers, so this is exactly the kind of bounce-back performance that they would have wanted. And there really wasn't much the Bombers could do to stop them for long periods of that game. Just the way that the Tigers won the ball out of the middle, moved it quickly and found targets inside 50. They really did look like a team that can challenge the best in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. It was the Tigers side that we saw really in the first probably 4 to 5 weeks of the season. It was the side that established themselves as the second best side in the competition. That's what they look today. And the Bombers, well, they continue to be a bit enigmatic. Their best is very good, but they were nowhere near their best for far too long here today. And the Tigers, emphatic winners. They jump back into second place on the table and probably remain that side most likely to cause a boil over in finals, if anyone. He's going to shock the Launceston juggernaut, which this Bombers side, to be fair, proved can be done just a few weeks back.
Yeah, they've shown that it's not impossible, haven't they? And they'd have to give a side like the Tigers as well plenty of confidence if they can start to round into some form here. Certainly looking like being an interesting season with some of these up and down results we're getting.
Absolutely. So that will do us here from the Twin Ovals this afternoon. Our most decisive of victories for the Tigers over the Bombers. I've been Andrew Cooling. With me has been Jacob Dool on his commentary debut. Well done, Dooley, for getting through that one.
Yeah, look, don't think there were too many mistakes in there, aside from not knowing players' numbers, but
Look,
we'll pass that one off as an honest mistake.
Yeah, look, we can't be blamed if we're not getting the spreadsheets with the correct numbers. So apologies to our mystery number 54, who was fantastic. If you were Edward Golding, well done, your 3 goals. Not sure. Apart from that, Jordan Lane, fantastic. Eddie Cole, really good. And Kieran Lovell, I thought, was fantastic on what was a boom victory for the Tigers. They walk away from the Twin Ovals 63-point victors. A massive statement to round out round 8 of the TSL. From us here at the Twin Ovals, it's bye for now.